Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Flip Royball. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Welcome back into the show, everybody. Sooner Lemon, thank you for stopping by. I hope everybody wipes their feet on the way in. We have got a good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit. We're going to go back through a little bit of the Bedlam game. Obviously, Stephen G, thank you for coming in. Yes, sir. Shout out to Bucky's there, Mike Wilkerson. Welcome to the Hall of Fame Mafia, folks. Thank you, Sooner Lemon. Appreciate you, bud. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about the Bedlam game. We're going to get into kind of where you go from here, kind of some of the fallout that we've been seeing since the Bedlam game. And we're also going to get into, you guessed it, a little bit of USC. Alex Grinch finally let go from the USC. They waited all the way to the end of the season when it probably didn't matter. But what's up there, Hankster? But we'll get into a little bit of that, and we're going to talk to Coach about his Notre Dame Fighting Irish and what's going on.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on out there in South Bend? A lot of talk, Coach, about whether or not Marcus Freeman is up to the job or not. So just kind of one of those weird deals. Thank you guys for coming in. Billy Shields, welcome to the show, sir. Happy to see everybody in here. Make sure everybody comes in and wipes
your feet.
Jet, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Remove my shoes, wipe my feet before I entered. I'm loaded for bear tonight. All right, that's good. That's what I'm talking about.
I like it.
We should have Ty. Oh, I'm sorry, not Ty. We're gonna have Jay from Unfair Sports and possibly Nino from Nino's Corner coming in, talk a little bit about what's going on, some of this officiating stuff. Look, we talked about this over the weekend, Coach, and it was
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and blame the officials on why, but the more that you've gone back and I've gone back and watched the game a number of times, and it's just egregious. And not only that, I've watched twice Texas and Kansas State. It was egregious.
But Jason, we talked about it's not, but we talked about that coming into this season. What was that going to look like? And it's playing out just like we said it would.
Yeah.
Hell, my head hurts.
That coach been under the weather a little bit the last couple of days. Yep. Shout out to Bucky's, everybody. Thank you very much for that. We're still working on that. We do have a new sponsor. We're going to talk to you a little bit about that tonight. I wanted to. It's really important to us, Coach. That we got a new coffee sponsor coming in. This is a former Marine. He's got his own coffee brand from all over the world. Very, very cool, man. Something that really, I really like it because I'll tell you what, the best part of it is I enjoy partnering with them, and they've got the high top guys partnering with them as well. But the biggest thing for me is the fact that you've got this is going to actually every purchase that you make of this coffee, and they've got coffee from all over the world. I've got the cowboy kind coming in. It's a mixed blend there, like a morning coffee.
It.
Yeah, man. But every purchase that they make, they're going to make 5% of that purchase is going to go to Wounded Warrior, and that is a big deal to me, being a former veteran, being a veteran myself, and knowing what that company does or that nonprofit does for the people that I think are the best people in this country are veterans. So I think it's
what, Jason, what a way to honor our heroes, our veterans, and because we can't ever thank those guys enough for all that they've done for our country. And by the way, thank you for your service to our country. And
thank you.
To all those vets out there, because, you know, I can't say I ever did that. But what y'all mean to this country, that y'all are the reason this country continues to be who we are. And I don't always feel like our vets get treated with dignity and respect by our own country. And so we can do our part here by helping them out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we will be throwing into we will be putting that, what you want to do when you go and order here. Now, guys, this is, you get 10% off just for using the promo code Boomer. If you go in there, check that out. You know, it's I'm gonna jump in here and grab it on my. So all these Devil Dog coffees are toasted, ground, bagged, and shipped the same day to guarantee freshness right to your door. The coffee, unbelievable. On top of that, Devil Dog, as I said, donates 5% of every purchase to the Wounded Warrior Project. So you'll be supporting the greatest people in our nation, our veterans, with every delicious sip. Free shipping for all U.S. orders. You guys can jump in there and make sure that you get that. Experience the goodness of coffee beans freshly roasted and delivered to your doorstep. At our company, we take pride in ensuring that every order is roasted and shipped on the same day as your order, guaranteed that you receive only the freshest and most flavorful coffee possible. And again, I was excited about the opportunity to work with these guys. They've got some amazing stuff. They've been working with the high top fellas, Cody and Shelton and them. So also very cool. Yes. And Wilkerson, thank you for your service as well. Yes. A former 11 Bravo, this dude was a dog. This dude was a dog. Hey, Mike Wilkerson, thank you so much. And everybody and anybody in here who was, whether your family members were veterans or you were a veteran, I want to say thank you so much to all of you guys for sure. Listen, I'm going to pop that our little link in there in the description for you guys, and actually I may pop it in here. Thank you, Mr. J. I appreciate that. I'll pop it into that deal. You guys should definitely go on there and check that out. Again, use the promo code Boomer. That will get you 10% off of your order and free shipping as well. Either way, they're going to get the 5% going to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Jason, the only thing is it'll be hard for my fingers to type that, though.
What's that?
Boomer.
Yeah. That's all right. Listen,
but I will do it. I will do it.
Support the show you're on. You're going to have to do it. So
I'm teasing. And you know what? Hey, do you know off the top of your head, do they have any Pignon?
Man, they've got it from all over. So let me go through some of them. Ethiopian Natural Whiskey, Barrel Aged, Pumpkin Spice Mocha, Cold Brew. They may have some Pignon. I'll check with them and see, but I know they've got some different blends. And there's some sample packs in there as well. They've got the Guatemala Devil Dogs. Ooh, yeah, there's a bunch, man. Yeah. So and they're even doing teas. If you're not a coffee person, they do have some cups.
Good.
Yeah, they've got some amazing cups, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's 10% off the whole order. So get, and if you're a tea drinker, I know a lot of people are tea drinkers instead of coffee. They've got some amazing teas too, jasmine teas, the Papua New Guinea. There's a ton of this stuff. So what I'll do is I'm gonna let me get my let me jump over here and grab that from there. Man, I thought I had it all put together here, but apparently
that's great news though, Jace. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what a
we get a small commission for everything you buy. We're not gonna, I'll just let you know it does definitely help with the it definitely helps with the show. But we're gonna get a small commission, but it's a win-win, man. Everybody kind of gets paid out on that, and it makes me so happy to be able to anything that that we can do to help out veterans. I think the Wounded Warrior program is absolutely fantastic. Those guys go through, they go through some stuff. So it's one of those deals where just kind of you really want to make sure you're taking care of those guys. Where is that thing?
You got to take care of our heroes, man.
Absolutely. Okay.
Ladies and gents, it's important.
It absolutely is. Okay, so that ain't it. Yep, I'm gonna have to find it. Jay was just saying he'll be in here in just a second. Let me see if that's it.
Jay, it's been a while since he's been on the show.
Yeah, man, he's been traveling a lot. He's been they've been working quite a bit on. He's been doing quite a bit of work, and so that's been part of it for him. But he said he'll be here shortly. So,
that's good.
Yep. We're gonna have Jay, possibly, and Brenskie from. I don't know if you watched this on Around the Table, the last couple of weeks. So with Ty, he comes on with Ty. He's another Alabama guy. So he's a pretty cool guy too, man. He knows his stuff as well. So yeah, you know how it is, man. We just keep on connecting with folks from around. You know, I love our content creators. You know. Just being able to do that. How is the hot cocoa? You know what? It's probably really good, man. Everything they've got is just, and like I said, they roast everything right there as when you order it. So it ships out that day. They roast it and grind it up, and you can even pick your grind if you like a certain way. You know, I'm a normal coffee drinker, but you know, a lot of people like it different ways. So it's pretty cool. What's up? Sippin, my man.
All right.
How you doing, sir? I enjoyed your show. What I was watching of it just a little earlier when it came out, right before I got ready. So thank you for that. And we'll, if you'd like to jump in, man, you're welcome to. I can send you a link. Let's see.
No.
It sure is that time of year for hot cocoa. I bet it is for you too, Neilio. It starts getting chilly up there in KC-Mo, doesn't it? Little early.
Hey, Jet, not only no, but hell no.
The OC at OU. Yeah, he's a defense guy. Yeah, and you guys everybody, we rough on him, man.
Coach. Coach, he's not far away from kicking back in the mountains, trout fishing every day, doing a little deer and elk hunting.
I'll tell you, man. Hey, and yeah, coach's got him. He's already got his cabin ready to rock. It's heck yeah, man.
I got my truck, my new truck that's geared for just that area.
Hey, I saw that. I drove by your office the other day and saw that you had a new one.
Got me an F-250.
That is super cool, man.
Nice diesel.
I like it.
It'll be the last truck I ever own, brother.
Yeah, man, they'll go a million miles if you let them. They'll go a million miles if you let them. Double dogs. I mean, I'm gonna definitely find this thing real quick. Double dog.
Hey, while you're doing that, Jason, I just want to again thank everybody that comes on the podcast. We appreciate you guys a ton, and more than that, we enjoy your feedback on everything. I love the knowledge that all of you bring. Each one of you brings a different piece of knowledge, and Jason and I love that. And so I believe we have the best group anywhere. I truly believe that. So thank you guys for that. We love y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. All right. I think I'm pretty close to finding it, but maybe. Hell, I don't know. Damn it.
Jason, the other thing I was going to say too, while you're looking for that, I sure love what you've done with your background.
Hey, man, yeah, that's what I've been meaning to say that. And, you know, Bloody, I don't know if Bloody's in here just yet, but Bloody's been calling it the woodshed. And we do have we got a couple of super chats. Let me get to those. Neilio, thank you so much again for that. Great evening, everyone. Great to be here. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you. And Tanya Shipman, Miss Tanya, she is one of our newer subscribers. I appreciate you coming in, Miss Tanya. Thank you again. How do you order the coffee? I'm working on that right as we speak. Give me 1 second and I will send you the link here so everybody can jump in there and find it. Oh man.
Where's Tanya from?
She'll have to tell us. Tell us, Tanya.
Tanya, where are you from?
I'm thinking she's from around OKC though. I could be wrong.
You know, I'm actually going to Oklahoma City. I got on Friday. I've got a niece that's getting married, so I'm going to Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'm gonna go incognito. Can I borrow some of your OU stuff?
Absolutely. And but if you better come back right. That's all I know. Better come back right.
Well, I know you don't want to hear this, but they're OSU fans. Yeah, I know.
What a freaking weekend! I'll tell you what, guys. Give me 1 second, and I will find that because I know I have it. But let's get into some of this talking, and then I'll shoot it all everybody's way. 1 second. All right. Look, so let's talk about this game over the weekend. And I got to tell you that, as I was telling coaches, we started the show. I'm definitely I'm not the dude that's going to sit here and blame the officials for the entirety of the game. I think that there was definitely some really bad officiating. But I will say this. I'm going to say that you can't miss those calls, and especially out in front of everybody. The one at the end when Stoops is getting tackled out of bounds, and there's no way you can miss that in front of everybody and expect for everybody to think that that's okay. That wasn't even the only one that they missed. It was just uneven. And here's the thing that I was saying about it the other day was that, and Bomber was talking about this, that he felt like there was some poor officiating. And really the Big 12 is known for its bad officials. We'll just put it that way. But when you have your commissioner piping up and saying some of that stuff that he said in Lubbock about Texas, and then you have the fact that still, I think over these past 2 years, and some of you guys, let me know what you think about. Hey, thanks. I'll take the hug there, Robbins. Appreciate it. Kirkster. But I tell you, when you see kind of what's been going on there, and Oklahoma still hadn't been, Texas, and Sark kind of laid it out the other day, that they've got one of the best defensive lines in the country, and they haven't drawn a single holding call this year either. They had 3 total last year. Oklahoma had 1. And I don't know how many holding calls anybody's had on the other side of it. I don't really remember any. So I want to make sure what that is, but I know it hadn't been many. This is a problem. And this is a problem. We knew it coming in. They talked about it coming in, and you could see it coming. And I understand that nobody in the Big 12 wanted to see Oklahoma or Texas win this conference on the way out. But this is not okay. I've just got to say, it's just not okay. And particularly that last missed call on the defensive, pass interference. You also had one that they called on Makari Vickers, and he's the one that got knocked down. They weren't even hand fighting, and he gets pushed down. They call it on Makari. Both of those were pretty ugly. In the end, you got to call it even. If you're going to be shitty at it, be shitty both ways. Yeah, they didn't say that. That was Swaim, and it was definitely made up. Yeah, underpaid in multi-billion-dollar sports with people betting on them. There will be a Netflix. Hey, listen, I'm sure there will be. In the end, I don't want to see it. I mean, here's the thing: is if you have a professional league or even in the college league, and you're getting bet on, and you start getting even that look of impropriety in any way, then you illegitimize the sport. If you can't trust that it's not being fixed in some way, that isn't right.
Well, and it was almost inferred that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Fairfax. All right.
Yeah, listen, I absolutely said that. Absolutely. They inferred it. They let us know.
Yeah, it was all said before it started, and I've and Jason will tell you this. I've never
No. Hold on. John Holmes, his heel was out. His heel was not out, and you did not read it in the freaking on the Big 12 because I was just there. His heel was never out until after he had already been hit. There's pictures and video, and we can pull the video up. That's just trash. It's a trash thing to say.
Yeah, guys, and all of y'all know this. I'm not an OU fan.
Yeah, you are.
No. Come on, J-Bo. But I have to tell you guys, they got screwed. Bottom line. And And that's coming from a guy that's completely indifferent. And so I'm just telling you, the call was friggin' horrible. Probably, I've been in this coaching business for over 35 years, and I can tell you, I've had some horrible calls in my ball games, but I'm not sure I've ever seen a worse call than that one.
John Holmes, it's fake if that's what they're saying, because they're damn good and well that he didn't get out of bounds until after he had been hit for 5 yards.
No, and so blatantly done.
Yeah, come on.
That's the
video shows it. It's not hard to see. In the end, and I'll pass it to Jay real quick too, because I know he's got something to say about that. But look, here's the deal with this. Is that here's the bottom line on it is that we've all said, and I've said it a number of times, that look, your job is, if you're Oklahoma, was to beat them to the point that you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was your job to go do that. Because you knew it coming in. We knew it coming in. Jay, do you know how many holding calls there have been on Oklahoma this year, or on Oklahoma opponents in this conference season? Because I know there was one last year.
I think it's been 2 this year so far.
Okay. So a total of 3 in almost 2 seasons, and almost 2 full conference seasons, they've had a total of 3. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Pretty bad, right?
I don't know. Up until the last couple of years, I don't remember watching football games that they didn't have 3 or 4 holding calls in the game. At least.
Yeah, fair point. That's traditional. Yeah, you're right.
In any event, here we go. Let's get into the game itself. As I was saying, I feel like the problem with the whole thing is that Oklahoma didn't play well, and it's a lot of odd play calling in weird places. I didn't think that the play calling was as bad as it was the week before in Kansas, but it wasn't great. Particularly the timing of some of the stupid calls that I see. Like when you start seeing, I don't know, man. I believe that was supposed to be. You can go ahead and get him out of there, Hank. If you were doing the direct snap, I know that was a direct snap to Javonte. My thing about it is, it's not even necessarily that you're doing it. It's that Javonte hadn't played in a month and a half, and this is what you're bringing him in on. You know?
Yeah.
It's just weird to me. And to me, the biggest problem has been, what are we doing getting real gimmicky when we were moving the football without that? You didn't have to do that. Throw the freaking ball some more. I saw somebody on Twitter earlier tonight, or Sooner Girl was talking about it. That throw the freaking ball and throw it again and throw it again, because it works and we know it does. But I don't understand why they got away from Gavin Sawchuk. I don't understand why it took so long to go to Tawi. You know, I mean, I know he was supposed to be hurt, but if he was hurt, why was he in the game?
You know, been in this business as long as I've been in coaching, and I've done it too. But I think as coaches, we outsmart ourselves. We think we think we know what they're thinking on the other side. And you know what? If we run this, it's going to surprise them. Hell, it like I said, we outcoach ourselves sometimes. And,
sure.
And I could see a little bit of that in that ball game. That it was kind of like, you know, hell, I'm out coaching myself here. Just do what you do and do it well. And that's one thing that I can say from a Lebby perspective. I don't think that he runs something consistently that's working and stays with it. It seems like he gets away from those things. So I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
I'll say, yeah, it does seem like so it's funny because the big issue I've run into with Lebby, and like I'm not defending overall, but perspective with it, right? 9% of the time, dude does a really good job. I mean, I just looked at the numbers, analytics wise, the advanced metrics. We're top 15 offense in the country, right? The highest we're rated on one is number 7 in the country. The lowest I've seen is 19.
Right.
But for the most part, in the average. top 15 offense in the country, which is crazy that our complaint is that 10%, because the 10% is really what matters. It's the moments that are critical in the game. Like the Kansas game, the biggest issue was we only threw the ball 19 times with a quarterback that's in the Heisman race. The opposing quarterback threw it 32 times. Obviously, they didn't care if he threw it good or not. He threw it more. We should be throwing the ball more. Then in this game against Oklahoma State, it's just the decisions at critical moments. We tried to get a lot of Austin Stogner involved, and I love Stogner. I love that he came back. Xavier Benson was abusing him every time we ran a jet sweep with him in motion. They read it. They knew it was coming. Oh, he's got it. I'm just going to run right through him every time. It's like he whiffed every moment. So for Lebby, the most important thing for him is he's got to do better about when he makes his picks, or Venables may have to take some of that autonomy away and start vetoing some of those plays. Say, man, we can't be running these jet sweep left and right. Go ahead and hand the ball up the middle. Because, I mean, Tyree looked decent. He looked like he was hurt, but it's funny because he runs in slow motion while also getting out there and making it happen. Right? I mean, he ran the first carry, 23-yard touchdown. And Salchuk looked like he was getting better, and then you stop giving him the ball. You start moving in other running backs. You're bringing in Smothers. The personnel decisions really had me scratching my head. LV Buckley Shelton catching a punt. There was a lot of I saw JJ Hester out there, and I'm just like, why? I like JJ. I think that,
but you haven't seen him all year, and you're going to put him in
when he's healthy. Right, when he's healthy, I think he'd be fine. But
others on
why don't we have Jaden Gibson with Nick Anderson, Jalil Farouk, and Drake Stoops? Run that full wide, because you can get Stoops over the middle. He's going to be good. Jaden Gibson, he's gotten better in blocking, but at the same time, the dude's huge. Him, Nick, and Farouk, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Leverage your height. Go across the middle. Catch some passes. I mean, they didn't catch. I mean, they were dropping potential touchdown passes. It seemed like the ones that when Dylan Gabriel throws it perfectly on the dime deep right to their hands, they drop it. But if he underthrows it, they know how to come back and catch it. It's a weird phenomenon. But at the same time, just let the man launch that thing. I don't care if he underthrows it or not, because guess what happens? They catch it. Keep doing it. Do it while it's working. Then when it stops working, you can start figuring out something else. But until then, the personnel decisions was just head scratchers. So I'm anticipating a big change going through the rest of the season, and that's all we got. We got to get that.
It has to happen, and here's the thing, and I'll take it. I'll give it to you here for a second there. Welcome to the show there, Brenskie. Our buddy there from the Sharpe Shooters Podcast, Mr. Brenskie Sharpe.
What's up, my dude? What's going on, man? I said I had to stop by, man, and show some love to you, man. You one of my biggest supporters, right next to Jay, man. So I said, man, I had to come by, man, show some love.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it, man. Yeah. Big win for your boys this weekend. It looked like a good game to start off with, and then Alabama just rolled right through that LSU defense like it was warm butter.
Like shit through a goose.
Like shit through a goose, the coach would say.
Man, I love it, man. I'm telling you, man, I had a smile from ear to ear, man.
Yeah.
Because after that game, just seeing Milroe play like that, I said, bro, we play like that for the rest of the year, we'll win the national championship. But we have to play like that.
Don't get too excited now. He did have a tremendous game. I will say that. And Alabama looked much improved. And I agree. I think Milroe was the difference in the game the other night.
Oh yeah, man. So I'm just loving it, man. That's why I say I was just coming over here to show my support to you guys, man. You guys always supportive. I had to come over here, man. I have so much energy, even with a 7-month-year-old. Surprisingly.
I know, right? Hey, real quick on this one. Jet made this statement about Stogner and the 10 personnel, and Lebby doesn't go over the middle because DG can't see over the traffic in front of him. The majority of Dylan Gabriel's passes incomplete have been across the middle at 5, 10, and 20 yards. That's where most of his passes are thrown. Now I'm looking at the passing chart. Majority of his passes are across the middle. which is wild, right? To think like I get what you're saying, Jed.
Between them is what it is, and that's where,
yeah. But the crazy part is, he does throw across the middle a lot. Like majority of his passes are there, and he's throwing over 60% deep. So the question is, why don't we do that more? Because when Drake Stoops is going across the middle, he's catching those things usually. Yeah. Nick Anderson has gotten better on that, but you can feed the middle, get the safety to draw up, and then go deep to Nick. It's just you got to bait the defense, and we're not doing that in clutch moments. But that play design he did for Stoops out the backfield at running back, that was masterful. That's the Lebby we need more of. Just not too many jet sweeps left and right when Austin Stogner is trying to block for you, and we've seen that he's not very good at that part. Get him across the middle.
Hank said the other day that he misses blocks like it's his job.
Right, like he's supposed to. They're paying this man to miss him.
But you know, guys, if you know the jet sweep's coming, they're probably going to beat you to it if they know it's coming.
Every time.
I mean, it may not be all his fault. I mean, hell, if they know the play's coming, hell, I'm going to get there before you can get me blocked. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something to that. I really do.
No doubt. And I mean, he's a big body guy. He's got some speed to him as well. And I mean, and Stark hasn't done a whole lot of anything. I don't even understand why you would even bother with it at this point.
Right.
The best, your better tight end that blocks well has been on the bench lately. And it doesn't sound like he might be back after what happened, tweeting during halftime about, playing time. So that wasn't a good deal. Here's the question that I got. And this is what the concern is last night on Coach's show there with obviously, Coach had his show down there, and they were asking him about the 4th and 5 play. And he says, we probably have a Rolodex full of better plays when talking about that play and the way and what they ran. And if you look at it, they roll him out, so they cut off half the field, first of all. Now, a lot of people in here were talking about that, and I agree. Secondly, there was you could say, and of course, when they go to Lebby about it, he says, no, I like the play. I think that he needed to run that deeper. Well, obviously, Jeff, you're up there on the top, and you couldn't tell that was cut off. The only place he was going to catch that football was right where he was, but that defensive back was on him. I don't understand running a play that doesn't get deeper than the sticks. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Coach V called him out, and it's kind of signaling to me. What do you make of the comment, Jay? Because to me, did he just signal that it might be the beginning of the end for Jeff Lebby in Norman? There's been a lot of stuff going on this year, too, if you think about it.
Trouble in paradise.
You can tell that Venables is starting to get – his patience is thin. Like, we talked about this on Ty's show on Monday last night about how the way Bama's starting to look different, how you're starting to see the design runs for Jalen Milroe, how it looks like – Nick Saban said, okay, we did it your way these weeks. Now we're doing it my way. Do this. So the reason why, and I like to put this out there because this is one of the things I remember reading somewhere, but one of the reasons why Jeff Lebby took the job here instead of staying at Ole Miss, in which technically he could stay at Ole Miss and still be doing the same thing he's doing here and hopefully get himself a P5 job off of it. But he came here because he gets full play calling autonomy here. Venables runs things here is similar to the way Dabo ran things at Clemson and the way Stoops ran things back in the first regime of Oklahoma. Coordinators, do your jobs. We're going to give you your autonomy, which also helps with getting people, promotions, getting them head coaching jobs. Hence why Oklahoma has so many offensive coordinators that bounced because they were all that experience. Teams are taking them. You lost Leach. You lose Kevin Wilson. You know what I'm saying? You go down that list of all these OCs, they leave because Mangino leaves because of you start getting these guys head coaching jobs. It's just Sumlin.
Same thing you've seen happen at Alabama.
Exactly. So it's that autonomy. The difference, though, you see with Alabama, though, is that a lot of these guys get these head coaching jobs and they're moving around a few times because they still have to figure it out, except for Smart, in which Smart was an assistant for 9 years. That's a different story. There's a reason why he's as great as he is.
The right job, too.
Right, exactly. He picked, he picked his alma mater, so you can't lose that, right? But the key thing behind that, though, is that Venables tries to run things like a CEO, and he doesn't meddle with what his CFO and CMO are doing, and he probably should, since the biggest issue isn't the overall game plan, it's the decisions late when you really need to be doing everything possible to move forward, or hand it to your bell cows and let them just run down people's throat, because that's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of decisions to be made in that, but it does feel like Venables is kind of throwing hints at us that, we gonna make some changes, my people.
Well, this is the first time we've kind of seen any hint of that. We've been talking about this probably the last 2 weeks for sure, really hard, that he needed to sit down with Lebby and have that good, hard conversation of what he expects needs to be done, because at the end of the day, it's his program. But we didn't see any evidence of that. And I think now we're starting to see a little bit of evidence that that's starting to happen. A day late and a dollar short, but at least it looks like it's starting to occur.
I understand the thought process of wanting him to be able to call his own plays and giving him that autonomy. But when it's not going well, and Brenskie, I'll pass this to you. When it's not going well, it's your record that's getting messed with here. It's your reputation as a head coach, and it's him that's getting.
Hell, it's your job.
It's your job that you could lose, right? So to me, it's one of those things that you have to be the guy to step up and say, look, my biggest thing is that I just don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to any of it. And it doesn't seem like there's a real game plan. Is what are we trying to do versus each team? Brenskie, go ahead.
To be honest, man, he's still learning as a head coach for the most part.
He is.
And we expecting him to be. We acting like this is year 5 for him. Now, if this happened in like year 4, year 5, then you have a lot to be concerned about. I'm about to say he's overachieving this whole year. So
that's fair. It's a fair point. That is a very fair point.
So that everybody know for the most part they're overachieving. They're going to win the rest of their games. I don't see them losing any more this year outside of a bowl game, depending on who they play. So just wait till he can get more of his players in there, and we'll see how it goes. I'm just what's his name? The backup quarterback.
Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold. Now, Jackson Arnold, it all depends on what Dylan Gabriel. They talking about him coming back, which I think is weird if he just doesn't go. But let's just say he does go and Jackson Arnold do start. I'm hearing great things about him starting up there. So
he's got a big arm. He's got a real arm.
So we're going to see, is he the future? Now this is when you start judging. Now you're starting to get more players. Now you're starting to get more established. So let's just give him more time. I think we just trying to put him up there just because of Oklahoma, it being one of them blue bloods in the sport. So we expect Oklahoma to be Oklahoma, and you not lose certain games like to Oklahoma State, which is
right. Yeah.
I'm not even about to get started with that Mike Gundy thing. I don't want to get you started. But yeah, man, just give him some more time. It's
agreed.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely. And I think that when you start looking at his recruiting, you're going to give him the time, right? You know, he's recruiting at the top of the game. You know, he's close to another top 5 this year. He was top 10 first year, top 4 last season. You know, and this looks like it's going to be the best defensive recruiting class ever in Oklahoma. 6 blue chip defensive line prospects.
Let that sink in.
Be afraid.
Y'all got David Stone, right?
Yeah.
David Stone, Nigel Smith, you know.
Hey, man, see, that's what I'm talking about. Just give this stuff time. Even with next year, with them guys being freshmen, by year 4, you should know everything you need to know.
I agree. I think we've been saying that a lot. I know Coach and I have, and Jay, I know you said it too. I think that 2025 is the year that you see them really make a push for the national championship.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jaden Jackson, those games, absolutely.
I don't think there's any doubt. And you hit the nail on the head. They're ahead of schedule. OU's ahead of schedule. That they're going to be fine. BB's learning. We've had that conversation a ton of times. But again, I will say this about his relationship and Lebby's, and I'm going to use 5 words to put it in perspective for myself anyway. What you allow, you promote. And what he continues to allow Lebby to do, he is promoting that. And I think that's huge. And I think the Bucks got to stop at some point. Right. And I'm not saying fire Lebby. I'm not even in that boat. I just think conversations got to be had that this is my expectation. This is what you're going to do. And during the damn ball game, you got a headset on. You don't like the damn play, tell him, coach, change that shit. I don't want to see that.
Well, that's what we were saying to Chris, on the post-game show the other day. And Chris is definitely firmly in that other camp at this point, or maybe he's cooled off a little bit as of today. But I've been saying that, you don't know what's going to happen. We've heard, Jackson was committed to him when he was still at Ole Miss. And so chances are we could lose him. Now, I don't think you lose Michael Hawkins. I know you don't lose Kevin Sperry. And so I think that you would probably have to hit the portal for a quarterback, which isn't ideal. But in the end, I think that Jackson may stay either way. But what I do think is that I think that you can get it under control. I don't think you have to blow it up yet. I don't think that that's what you have to do here. I think that you can sit him down and say, look, this is what we want and this is how I want it. And, I'm fine with you running your thing, but we're going to do it this way. And, and hell, teach him to have goals, teach him to, because that was my thing, is that there doesn't really appear to be any kind of rhyme or reason for the personnel packages. He doesn't have a game plan that resembles that there's a goal for each particular defense that you're up against and what it is that you're trying to accomplish overall on that team. I mean, obviously you want to score points. That's generic though. How are you going to do it? What is the best way to exploit this defense? And it doesn't seem like, it's just like he's just blindly out there throwing out plays. And again, all this moving around on the offensive line is weird to me. All this stuff, I don't know what's going on with with the running back room that you're seeing so much that you don't really have a rotation. It's just willy-nilly. And I think that that's where I know for sure the head coach should be like, hey, man, the best guy is in the game, period. That's it. I mean, coach, is that a hard thing for you to do as the head coach? Is that, hey, I want the best guy in?
No, hell no. I mean, how hard is that? You just said it. Just say it and do it. I mean, but you got to say it. You can't just expect it to happen, because as all 4 of us in here, we can talk about one thing and all have 4 different opinions.
Sure.
And that's okay. That's what you want. You want, some different opinions, but by God, this is my program. This is what I want. Let's try it. Hell, if it doesn't work, then he's probably going to say, shit, coach, I tried to tell you that wasn't going to work. But at least it's my ass on the line as the head coach.
Well, yeah, you can live and die with your own decisions, not somebody else's, right?
Right. And I feel a lot better about that, because, I was always worried about, guys, when you're the head coach, you got to worry about if you get fired, you're packing up your family, you're moving across the country to another job. There's a lot of factors here. So I'm going to do everything I can in my ability to make sure we're successful as a team and win. Because what that's like. It's, the fans, they love you for a little while, but then when you're being successful, but then the next question becomes, what have you done for me lately? And lately we know Lebby's kind of been letting us down, and again, I keep beating a dead horse. It's the head coach.
It's been a lot of sputtering, and at some point, I think it is Coach V's job. Yeah, I mean, it is yours. And you can look. We talked a lot last year about how intricate his game plans were, and how remember Danny's dad was talking about they're 60 pages long and stuff like that. And it used to wear people out. Well, there's a middle ground. You don't have to go all the way the other way on it. You know what I mean? Sooner Lemon, super chat from Sooner Lemon. Can I just say for all of us in here that it's better than last year and we have gotten away better than last year. We are getting back to the OU we like. Absolutely. I think it's all in the right direction. I agree with you. We can move on to now. The Big 12 officials are under the microscope. I was hoping that we were going to get Nino in here to talk about it with Texas a little bit. I saw some pretty crazy calls in the game that I watched. I watched the game twice with K-State. If it wasn't for K-State missing a freaking extra point, they lose, and there was some sketchy calls in that game as well. At what point does these obvious calls start hurting the conference, Jay? You know, and moving forward think about this, whenever they're going to continue to do realignment and stuff over the next 10 years, at what point are some of these schools going to be like, we don't want nothing to do with this conference?
They not. That's the problem. Is they're not going to do anything about it. Most of these schools, a lot of this is benefiting them. Now, granted, if you bring Kuz on, he'll explain to you how terrible the officiating is for West Virginia as well. So, I mean, it's just the Big 12 refs is awful in general, but at the same time, I don't think it doesn't affect anything. The schools don't all uprise and complain that it needs to be investigated, looked at, or something. Most of them it benefits them, so they're not tripping.
What I said to Bomber earlier from Big 12 Mafia. I said, look, here's the thing. If you don't think they'll do it to you just because they're just doing it to the guys on the way out, you're sadly mistaken, because they will.
At some point, you're next.
That's right. You know, get on the wrong side. And to me, it makes Commissioner Yormark look shady. How can you trust the guy?
That's true.
You know? Anyway, I guess to me, it already looks terrible, but I wonder, I tend to wonder what's going to happen. Field goal kicking has loomed over our heads this season. Multiple missed field goals in Columbia. Mo was straight. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that game, they should have definitely won that game. And it's been, and also I would say this, that I was not a fan of the play call. I don't necessarily have a problem with them going for it. I probably would have went to the next overtime because they've got the worst red zone offense in the country. And, you know, chances are just giving yourself another shot, they'll screw it up. I probably wouldn't have went for it there. I would have kicked the three, although that being said, you just said the field goal kicking sucks. So I don't necessarily, you know, I understand. That being said, the play call itself taking that long to develop on the 4-yard line, I didn't like it. And I've watched it a few times. So
well, and you know, you as a coach, you get a feel for the game and what, you know, should we go for it, should we not? But I tell you what, and just me as I watched that game, I thought, why in the hell are you going to go for it here? You know, give yourself another shot, because the odds were with you to make the field goal. Bad kicker or not, you had better odds. And so, you know what? Give it another shot. And and also, you're fixing to flip and you're fixing to go on defense. And now if you get a stop, now you get to decide, you know, do I score a touchdown? Do we kick a field goal to win it? I mean,
Malik was 2 dropped interceptions away from having 4 anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They just had a better chance to kick it. I mean, right. Bottom line. And let's throw this in. Not only did they have a better chance to kick it, but with the officials, they also had a better chance.
That they did. I gotta say. Yeah, listen, and I'm not even hating on K-State. I mean, it's hard for me to be nice about Texas. But it's, I mean, I'm just saying what I see, and they've been signaling it. It's not even just signaling it. You've been seeing it. You know, when you've had a total of now 3 holding calls against your team, against an opponent of your team in conference play, in almost 2 full seasons, that tells you what's going on around here. Because I mean, Coach, how many do you ever remember a game that you didn't have multiple holding calls on both sides? Because you could call it on every play.
Oh, absolutely.
In theory, yeah.
Well, I actually saw my team. I actually saw my team in that scenario this weekend. Clemson had 0 penalties. 0.
What's up, Shawty? Come on in if you like. I was enjoying the show. Respect the Hedges. You guys had they had some of the seniors fathers on the show tonight on Respect the Hedges over there at Coach I's Fanatic Sports. That was cool, man.
But yeah, what I was saying, Jace, is Notre Dame or Clemson had 0 penalties, a whole football game and no penalties. Right. Now come on, man. But here, you know what? They didn't beat us. We beat our own selves.
No, and I said the same thing about Oklahoma. So
yeah. No, that's the way it is. You gotta be prepared all the time to be able to put your team in a position that the officials can't make those calls that are going to cost you the game.
It's one thing if it's the second quarter and it's egregious or whatever, but that right down in the end zone where right at the nut cutting time of that, like that, I mean, it's just not something that you can kind of forget about.
Well, and I tell you,
a lot of emotion in this game. A lot of emotion in this game going up against a rival like that. Last time you're probably going to play them for a really long time. It sucks,
Well, and y'all are going to have to hear that shit for a long time because they don't care about those 1,000 times that y'all have beat them.
Oh no,
it's that last one they're going to talk about forever. And so that sucks. I mean, it really does.
Yeah. It's that's the next thing we're going to get into. And let's go ahead and do that. Tired of talking about officiating. Let's get into finally USC. I guess he ran out of out of his usefulness catching bullets, and Lincoln Riley has finally cut loose Alex Grinch as defensive coordinator. I don't know what it's going to do at this time of the year. At this point, I mean, you've already been coaching them up the whole season.
Well, Coach, Grinch already had another job, right?
What's that?
Well, Christmas is coming up.
I'm out.
I promise you.
Good enough, man. That's funny stuff.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I like it.
Oh man.
What do you think about that, though, Coach? What do you think about that move? Do you think? My question is that a signal that Lincoln might be going to stay at USC?
I think I'm not sure that was his ultimate decision. I'll be honest with you.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But
I believe he was told fire his ass, and if you don't want to do that, we may have 2 coaches gone. I think ultimately he was made to fire him, and I don't think that signals necessarily that he's going to be back. I really don't. But what it does signal to me is he does have it. He ended up with a scapegoat. No, whether he was or he wasn't, it ended up as a scapegoat for this season for him.
Chet says Grinch will be at Notre Dame in 2020.
Oh Jesus, that's all we need. We need to add him to our. We need to add him with our offense coordinator already.
Yeah, that was good stuff. I like it. Video file. I'm gonna play this Lincoln Riley video real quick. This was just his initial statement.
What was it that finally necessitated the decision in your mind to let Alex go?
Watched the game Saturday night. Slept on it and thought about it a lot throughout the night. Didn't sleep much. Thought about it a little bit more Sunday morning, and just felt like it was the best interest of our program, both for both for this year because we still have a lot to play for. We still have a really cool opportunity in front of us, and for the future that we needed to make the change. And we just, we simply weren't making the progress I think that we all expected that we would make. It's tough because these decisions, when you make them, there's no guarantees in this game. I mean, we're 2 football snaps away from being undefeated in this conference right now. You never know exactly how these things are going to go. Alex is a great coach, a great person. He's proven that a lot throughout his career. I'm disappointed that it didn't work here. I know he is as well. But we've got to move on. We're going to move on. Excited for Coach Nua and Coach Odom, their opportunity. Excited for Taylor Mays. Excited for our team. We got a big-time challenge, but a big-time opportunity right in front of us here with these last 2 games.
Did I hear him say they were 2 snaps away from being undefeated?
In the conference, he said.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But that's that's a relative. 2 snaps away from. Yeah, well, whatever. It's 2 snaps and 50 points in both of those games.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
He also went on to say, "I know what it looks like. I know what the change can look like." And like I said, ironically, Alex was a huge part of that. I mean, I watched a defense when we took over at OU that was not the strength of the program, and then I watched. In a matter of several months, it became the strength of the program. What? And the chief reason why the last 3 years, the majority of those wins came on the heels of how well we played defensively. That's a flat lie. Jay, what was the best ranking for the defense? You remember?
So the asterisk year is probably the best one, which was in 2020 when they only played Big 12 games. Everything was weird. But besides that, not good.
Like 70?
Not good. 70s, 90s. Let me go pull up the numbers for my guy, Stats by Popo. Let me go pull this up real quick because he actually has all that put together for
Popo.
you.
When he said they got Taylor Mays, do we mean like Taylor Mays that used to play at USC?
Yeah, the safety.
He's on their staff?
Yeah.
He was an analyst until just now.
Okay, man. I
I
like Taylor Mays, but hey.
No, Taylor was good. He played for Pete.
Yeah.
He didn't have to play for Alex Grinch, so they did well.
But it's and I know it's hilarious to you guys too because we finally made a decision to do this. Hell, he should have fired his ass at Oklahoma. But instead he
doubled
took
down and paid him more.
Well,
exactly.
The problem you run into that, Coach, is really he's fired 3 guys at defensive coordinator.
Yep.
At a certain point, you kind of got to look internal.
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree with that. I agree with you 100%, Jay. But you know what? Let's all talk about the real reason, whether it was truly Grinch or is it him and what he does. That to me is the real reason. I'm not sure you couldn't put the best defense coordinator in the country at USC right now. And I'm not sure you're going to get a lot better results.
It's Will Ferrell's fault, Neil says. Yeah, I agree. It was definitely Anchorman's fault.
It's just because of what they do.
Yeah. Now, listen, I get it. Jet says Brent should bring Brian Odom home. Danny, Kip, and Kobe. Yeah. I think we'll see what happens. Hey, look at here. We have a special guest in here. Oh, Sippin Sooner. The Sippin Sooner finally graces us with his presence on the show. What's up, man? How you been?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Man, been a long time coming.
Yeah, no doubt. What do you think about this Tebow at USC finally firing Alex Grinch?
Man, it took him way too long for that, didn't it? I mean, we pretty much knew this is how it was gonna go down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they went out there and did the same exact thing they did when they was here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I wasn't shocked at all.
No.
Only thing is, though, is that he still got to get rid of Benny Wiley, though, in order for anything to change.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I think that they've been quiet about that. They've talked about that. That's, you know, I heard a couple of guys off like the Voice of College Football talking about that was something that has to happen as well. But I don't know how many people really understand that, but that would be my question: is who are you going to get to come replace him if you've got that dude at strength? I mean, I just watched a Washington running game that wasn't getting anything done. And they ran right through those dudes on the goal line, 4 of them just bouncing off of them like pinballs. It was nothing.
Yeah,
they got smaller every year that they were in Oklahoma, man.
Yeah. It started off, they was missing some tackles. Then everybody was missing all the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, man.
And we all know that has a lot to do with strength.
They were just saying something about y'all's strength and conditioning program. They said, man, whoever was a part of
the yoga instructor, Benny Wiley. That's
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I wonder what USCJ is thinking right now.
Oh,
I've been talking to him a little bit, but go ahead, Jay.
Oh yeah, he's very happy now. He's starting to finally understand what we was trying to tell him. And now he's starting to get that there may be more of a problem when it comes to Lincoln Riley than it is just Alex Grinch.
We talked, and I tried to get him to come on the show. He had to work late tonight, but he wanted to come on. He said that he was talking. He was on the show last week, but he said that, you know, it's amazing to me that here you got one of the best running backs in the country, and he's averaging 10 carries a game, 10, and he's one of the best, running backs in the country. That's the other part of it. Until Lincoln Riley, makes the decision to change everything and to have, a complementary football program to itself, it doesn't really change anything. The question I had was, do you think that this means he's staying at SC, or do you still see him possibly being gone, Sippin?
It didn't make any sense. I mean, actually, the way I see it, for him to do it now. I mean, I figured he would have went ahead and just waited till the end of the season. I mean,
that's why Coach was saying he probably was forced to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't. I mean, they still gonna get thrashed this weekend. So.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get that ass whipped.
Mr.
Frank, welcome to the show.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know where he goes from here. I mean, I don't think Lincoln's going to be there either. I think he leaves with Caleb. So,
yeah.
Yep. I'm with you all the way on that.
Okay.
Yeah, he might shock us and stay, but I doubt it.
Okay. The thing that I keep hearing about that with Lincoln Riley leaving, where do y'all think he's going? You think he's going to the NFL?
Oh yeah.
I do not see that happening. I don't see nobody hiring Lincoln Riley to be their head coach.
Nobody but Jerry Jones.
They
I don't know.
Kingsbury, bro.
Oh,
I don't know that he's got to go as the head coach, guys. I think that he could go in as a coordinator too.
He's not going that low.
But yeah, no, and now he may be back. He may, Muleshoe High School has an opening. He may be back to Muleshoe, Texas.
I still say he ends up at Texas Tech at some point. It ain't
oh
right
God,
now.
no.
Oh no, that's
God,
no. Down.
They love him. They love him there. Believe
they
that.
do.
They love him there. Lincoln to the Raiders. I think that the Raiders are probably in line for it, and they are just that kind of team to do it.
I don't see Chicago doing it. Like, only person I see Chicago going after for is Airbnb, and he needs to stay where he's at, which is my team, the Commanders.
The Commanders, yeah.
I hate saying that out loud, by the way.
Jay, do you think he's going to stay, or do you think he's out?
I think he's out. I think he's planning his exit as we speak, or wherever Caleb ends up getting drafted to.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. I mean, the Chargers may even think about taking him in.
After the Notre Dame game, it was just the same as the Baylor thing, you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And then he takes the Chargers job.
I really don't see that. If the Chargers hire him, they're pretty much going backwards. With all that defensive talent, and you don't even know how to coach a defense.
Hey, Kenneth Murray's going to ask his release immediately.
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray's like, oh, no, I've seen this movie before. I'm out.
Yeah, right.
Cut me tomorrow.
Yesterday.
I've seen this movie, and it doesn't end well.
Welcome to the show, Shawty.
What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
What's up, my brother?
What's going on?
Hey, I'm gonna say before I say anything, I'm a little hot at Jay because I asked Jay about one of those millionaires maybe a few months ago. He act like he didn't know what I was talking about. He ain't replied nothing. Jay, get at me with that now. Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
All right. Okay. How y'all doing, man? Appreciate y'all having me.
What it do?
Glad to have you on, my man. Glad to have you on. Welcome in. What do you think about the whole Riley and Grinch thing and stuff? You think he's gone too?
Both of them talking about. Well, I know Grinch is gone. You talking about Riley as well?
Yeah.
I think Grinch was a necessary evil that had to happen. I don't think Riley. I don't even really think that was all on Riley. I think the administration, but I think. Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of pressure. He had to do something where it was going to be. Now, what I did not expect was to be so soon. I expected it to happen at the end of the year. But what that has done is going to give somebody an opportunity. I think I put it in the chat earlier that generally when you have a coach that's fired, team generally rallies around a new person. So you may see some improvement. So it's going to be a great opportunity for whoever takes over that defense. But to the other side of that coin, I think Cliff Kingsbury had left a very bad taste in the mouth of the NFL. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see Lincoln Riley going nowhere to be nobody's head coach in the NFL.
I don't either.
It's possible.
Maybe.
I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But it also, guys, this guy's making a lot of money, guys. He's at the beat. He's on the coast. He's making a lot of money.
Make that kind of money anywhere else, even in the NFL. I just don't see them handing him that kind of cash, and especially the Raiders because they're still paying John Gruden
and Josh McDaniels.
But listen, the Raiders can't afford to try to experiment. So when they bring somebody in, it's gonna have to be somebody that has some cachet already in the NFL that players can gravitate to.
Yeah,
or it's gonna already. You're not going to bring in this hot flash college. They're not going. Can't do that.
And Shawty, I think. Well, I don't know if his ego is too big to realize this, but I think Lincoln knows he's not going as the head coach. I think the biggest push he makes in the NFL is obviously follow his quarterback into the NFL and try to get whether it's a quarterback job or it's a coordinator's position.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he can have some success, that could possibly vault him into a head coaching job in the NFL. But Coach, I would.
It's just like what we said. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury and Josh McDaniel and Mike McDaniel have all been head coaches. And it's, look, the one thing that I would tell you about it is I don't think that everybody there's still so many people that are just believing, the all that old stuff because Stoops left him in a situation that he didn't look bad until he got to SC. He left at the right time from Oklahoma so that it only started looking bad here.
Right.
Has he still convinced some people that he's not as bad as we all know he is? I don't know. It's easy for us.
Who did Cliff convince? Who did Cliff convince?
No, well, definitely. But he never won anywhere.
But that's my point, though. How the hell do you go from Texas Tech from getting your ass whipped when you have Mahomes? You have Mahomes, that's a damn world beater, and you can't wipe your ass and win a game.
And that's kind of my point, guys.
Then he becomes the head coach.
You can learn a lot from a dummy. That's what they did. That's what the NFL just learned. That was a whole experiment, a crash dummy test. And they just learned from what happened when you try to pull that off.
My question to you, though, Shawty, would be: you remember at the first time I was on the show with you and Coach, I told you guys that they were going to go 8-4, and y'all thought I was freaking crazy.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
Not everybody knows all that.
Yeah, true.
Because not everybody pays that much attention. Sippin, where are you at on it?
What was the question?
Just, I mean, do you think that he could still get a head coaching job, or do you think that he's going to have to like move his way up? I think that he still talks his way around it so much, you know.
Yeah, he can still get a head coaching job depending on the situation. I mean, it's always going to be somebody out there willing to take you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, and there's been some successful college guys in the NFL. I mean, you have Harbaugh, you have Pete Carroll. I mean, there's been some guys that have come out of the college game that have also been successful. So I don't necessarily buy that.
That's an Alabama hat. Is that Atlanta? Well, you know, it's like an Alabama hat.
He's an Alabama fan for sure.
But it's an Atlanta hat, though.
Okay, I'm trying to see the A because I see the little thing come. Okay, there you go. Okay, all right. My bad. Sorry, Coach. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, brother. You're good.
But it's roll tide over here, though.
Let's get it roll.
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of coaches that have actually made it. Think about Jimmy, you know, Johnson, you know, winning.
Yeah, there's been a lot of.
There's a lot of coaches that Pete Carroll. I think he was a good NFL coach the first time around so much.
Yeah,
you know, after he went to SC, he was a little better.
Well, one of your own OU coaches, Barry Switzer.
Barry, yeah, the king.
Yeah.
Why not follow the money train though? Follow the money trail, rather. That's what it all boiled down to. Because if the money don't make sense, I just don't see him just doing it because he can or wants. It's too much money in real estate and investment he got over there in California to just give it up.
I agree with you to an extent, Shawty, but it's kind of the thing we've talked about before. You know, coaches have these damn egos that just they make you do stupid things, make bad decisions, and I think he's smart enough that I think he's starting to see that he's running his course in college football. Because guys, if he does leave USC, who wants him? I can't think of anybody that really. Texas Tech, hell, guys, who wants to be the head coach at Texas Tech? You know, hell, that's a basketball school. Or they want to be a basketball school is what I should say. I think my opinion is, I think if he thinks he can get into the NFL, he can try his expertise in that area. I don't know how many more years he's going to be in coaching, to be honest.
Guys, what if he messes around and looks up and hires an actual defensive coordinator that actually meshes with him well?
And I don't even think it's necessarily about meshing. It's just he's going to have to, a guy like that, you have to hire a coordinator who has just as a big as somewhere ego as you have. He has to bring in a guy with cachet, with a name. If he's able to do that, he could be a problem. But what he's been doing, he's been bringing in guys that he always overshadows. His personality just takes over the whole team. And that's what's the problem.
But you know, guys, talking about that, and I said it a little bit earlier, but you go back and you look at all these guys, the disciples, you know, of Mike Leach running that same offense. They've all had some decent defense coordinators that have gone into their programs, but they hadn't done worth a shit with those coaches. And a lot of it is the system in which those coaches do things. And I think that's a big problem. I think you can bring a guy in there that's a hell of a defense coordinator, but I still not sold on the fact that they're going to be good defensively just because of the system.
Yeah, that's true. Damn,
that's interesting because I'm with you, Cole, but I'm almost I don't want to say the opposite of, but I just truly feel like, if he can get, it's just about the person. It has to be a guy with some cachet. He can't bring in somebody young, and you know what I'm saying.
I agree.
Well, it didn't even matter whenever they brought in that, because what was the guy that he was the coach with the Broncos, and then he went with Cliff, and he had been working for the defensive coordinator at Dallas for so long, and then he was the DC over there at San Diego, or with the Rams as well.
DC?
Yeah, the defensive coordinator. Who was the guy that was the Denver head coach for a while? The black guy. He was really good defensive coach. Damn it. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Vince.
It starts with a V.
Yeah. Vance Joseph, right?
Vance Joseph.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So he went and took the DC job over there, and they even went and got freaking Isaiah Simmons, and I mean they were loading up the defense, and he wasn't able to. This is where I think you could be right, Shawty, is because that offense still was not helping out that defense do anything over there, right? I mean, now they did go and start 7-0 that year, and then Kyler got hurt, and it kind of came apart for him. But it got to where he and Kyler weren't getting along anyway.
Yeah.
The guy that he has in the DC has to basically be a former head coach or a guy that's can only be there for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer or some shit like that.
Yeah. Gary Patterson.
It just got to be a name, from a college standpoint. So say, for instance, if I could just give an example, and it's not realistic, but he would need somebody like the head coach at Oregon to be his DC, Dan Lanning. He's going to need a name like that. He's going to need a figure like that. Someone that can
do that, though. Who the hell wants to do that and go work?
I'm with you. I'm just saying that's the only way that's going to balance him out.
Makes you look bad.
Because his offense is too offensive heavy.
Gary Patterson, guys.
Why would he do that for Tebow? Why would he do that?
It's not about Tebow. He like we're talking about. That money talks. Money talks. Bullshit talks. Walks.
Derek Mason.
Yeah, maybe.
And that fits what Shawty just said. A successful head coach. I don't think David Aranda
David Aranda has no respect for Lincoln Riley. He exposed the shit out of him in the last 6 quarters that he played against him. Exposed the shit out of him. Right?
What about Jim Leonard?
Huh?
What about Jim Leonard?
Ain't no damn way he would work for Tebow.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to get a head coaching job. There ain't no damn way.
Well, I didn't want to break the news on here, but Riley called me yesterday.
You don't give a shit about getting fired. I'd go. I'd take that son.
I know I would too.
I'd take it right now. Yesterday, I'd take that sucker. I'd figure it out.
Hey, you can't do no worse.
I wouldn't have been on here. I wouldn't have been on here tonight, boys.
Hey, as long as you call in every once in a while, we'll be all right. Just so we can tell Lincoln go kiss our ass.
Y'all can talk shit.
I love it. Yeah. I know you'd be talking shit to him every week. Miranda's very principled. Yeah, see, and I don't. That's the other thing. I don't see him anywhere around Riley because I think that they are two different cats. One's slimy as the day is long, and one isn't.
Yeah.
It's just. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Well, and I'm really not sorry. Guys, Shawty said this earlier. He's already gotten rid of a few coordinators, their defense coordinators. And so, you know what? People get gun shy. They don't want to go work for somebody that, oh, hell, he fired all the defense coordinators he's had.
Well, because they're all his scapegoats. That's the thing. They catch bullets for his ass. All his strays they're right now, think about it. All his strays went right into Alex Grinch, and he's out the damn door. Meanwhile, they still believe in Lincoln.
But you know what's funny about all these guys is I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln did get a job in the NFL to see him Grinch back with him.
That'd be funny.
It would be funnier than shit. I'm just telling you. And guys, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Have a bunch of seventh rounders on their defense and shit.
It could be that conversation. Look, buddy, you know, I love you. I kept you at OU, but I got to get out of this alive. They're pressing me to get rid of you. But as soon as I move on, if I go to the NFL, I'm calling you. I mean, I wouldn't go past that.
I think it's a hard sell if you're Lincoln Riley, man, on any of these. Now, somebody said it on Twitter yesterday. It's got to be some young dude that just believes that I can fix it. You know,
I'll tell you what,
in fast times, I can fix it.
they chew you up and spit you out fast in the NFL. See, the thing about when you go to the NFL too, you got the players are making so much more money than the coaches. You can't tell them shit. So if you ain't really right, so if you ain't really no good coach and you ain't really coming off of what you supposed to be knowing, the players ain't going for it. And they're gonna let you know man to man, and they're gonna get you up out of there fast.
Amen.
It's a different ballgame.
Look at Urban. Urban lasted 10 minutes in Jacksonville. 10 minutes.
Bingo.
Nobody wanted to hear his shit. Nobody wanted to hear his shit over there. But here's the difference. The one thing I'll say about this is that Urban was rough on his players, and Tebow isn't. And the offensive guys love him. The offensive guys love his ass because he puts them in positions to look really good.
Real good.
He can dial them up, man. I don't think that he would have an issue with the offensive side of it. If you get the right situation, I don't know that it wouldn't work out. I think it's an easier deal for him there because everybody's got the same guys, right? It's set up that way. It's for everybody to be equal. And he is that players coach type. Even the OU guys don't talk bad about him. None of them do. That played for him. None of them do. The guys, the recruits that are coming in don't love him because he didn't recruit them so much. But if you listen to, I saw Danny on there with that guy that has that one podcast, but they were all talking real nice about Lincoln. They all loved him, you know, because he was a player's coach. He is a player's coach.
Lincoln?
Yeah. He is that. He's the reason that Jerry left. Oh, no doubt about that. No, he fired Jerry. He told him to get the fuck out. He didn't want him there.
That holds a lot of weight if players not talking bad about you.
Right.
It does. And listen, I mean, even the one thing Baker did kind of semi threw him under the bus a couple of weeks ago. You know,
Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
He threw Lincoln under the bus.
He said he thinks that he can outscore everybody and he doesn't make it easy on himself.
Well, that's obvious. Yeah.
I mean, that's as close as Baker's going to throw him under the bus.
And that is exactly what I was talking about earlier, though, guys. It's the system, and that's exactly what he believes is he can outscore anybody, and he doesn't give a shit about the defense
or the special teams unit or none of that shit, man.
It's
he wants
And you know what? I loved Mike Leach. I thought he was the best thing Texas Tech could have had as a head coach.
Oh man, I love Mike too, man. He was a good dude.
But at the end of the day, he thought the same way, and they're all his disciples, and they all sucked at defense. I mean, Leach's teams all sucked on defense. I mean, just the way it is. That's it's the
they'd have one or two guys, but they were not
their philosophy. Yeah, their philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, everybody, if you hadn't wiped your feet, hit that like button, man. We've had quite a few people in here. Make sure you do that. And if you haven't already gone over and checked out Shawty's channel, Just My Damn Opinion, or the Sippin Sooner, or the Sharpe Shooters Podcast, make sure you get over there and sub to all those guys, man. Yeah, thank you guys for doing that. The ones that already have. Appreciate that. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. They don't talk about him publicly. I've seen him. I've seen a few of them. I saw, Stutzman was talking about him. He said he didn't blame him. Got more money. But I think a lot of the guys, though, I mean, they were upset about what happened. They thought they were screwed, and a lot of them were. A lot of them were. Had it not been for if you didn't have talent, BV wasn't going to keep you around. He kept some of them around longer than he should have probably. And that's nothing against the kids, but they just didn't fit what he was doing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we kind of, going through that, but I don't know, man. I don't know really what's going to happen there, but I kind of got the feeling that he's definitely trying to make it look like he's going to stay at SC. I think that means that he's not staying at SC.
Right.
That's how.
But you're gonna hinge your future on the court. I guess you can ride the quarterback. I guess Kingsbury did, but we see how that worked out.
Yeah, I mean, he went in and had a decent quarterback and said, "Screw it, I don't want this guy, and I'm going to go after Kyler." But Kyler already ran his offense.
Coach, but look at the irony in this though, the situation. The same team that just did this foolishness got the same opportunity to have the same number one pick and do the same thing all over. You know what I'm saying? You think that's going to happen? The same thing all over again.
Well, Kyler just came back. He's coming back this week, so he's liable to screw him out of that.
That's the definition of insanity, right, Shawty?
Right. I mean, we're talking about literally the same team. Arizona has the same opportunity. 4 years, 5 years later.
Brightest owners in the NFL, man. The Bidwills are not the brightest owners in the NFL. They're just not. I mean, they might be better than Cleveland, but that'd be about it, I think. That's just about it. Yeah. What a shit show it is over there in Cleveland. Holy crap. Good grief. All right. Now, hey, so what do you think about old Jeffrey? That's why I brought you in here, old Sippin. What did you think about old Jeffrey? What's going on with this shit?
Man, listen. I actually like his system. And it's just his timing and his order, and I don't know what he'd be thinking on some of these damn calls, man. It's like, 3rd and 8, and you throw the shit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and expect Drake Stoops to get the first down. What the fuck you doing, man?
As much as I like Drake, I love Drake, but dude, he's not a burner.
And he ain't got no body weight either. These guys are under 200 pounds. They're not gonna get there first.
Yeah.
It just don't make no sense on some of his logic, But then he'll turn around 3 plays later and he'll draw up something and you'll be like, damn, I don't understand.
It bothers me that second, they start on the 1, they get to the plus 35, and on first down, he does. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That was a direct snap. That was not a snap to Dylan. That was a direct smack. Ugh. And Javonte didn't want a damn thing to do with that shit.
And he's still young too. And so he panicked and then he tried to hand it to Dylan.
Hot potato, baby.
Yeah.
It was bad. But why there? Why would you do that? You've already moved the ball just doing your normal base system plays.
Why is Javonte in the game is the question.
Hadn't seen him in a month and a half.
Right. He's already mentally battling with his injury, and then now you're going to put some actual responsibility on the snap on him?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. I didn't understand it. And Martha, had they gone down there, that's a 99-yard drive. You put points on the board there. That changes the complexion of the entire football game.
I just don't understand why he feels the need to get cute at least once every drive. Just line up and run their asses over, man.
They hadn't stopped them yet. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is I don't understand any of that part. And I'm a fan of Lebby too. Dude, he's from around this area he's from Andrews, coach.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I tell you, I'm struggling to understand what the hell's going on here. I just don't get it. And hey, man, the main thing I wanted to ask you, what is it that you think about what Venables said last night? You know, we got a Rolodex full of plays that were better than that fourth down play.
Well, I mean, it don't really matter. It don't really matter what he said, because at the end of the day, unless he's going to take the reins back from him, then shit, he might as well shut his ass up.
I love
there you go. That's why I was surprised to hear that, because
I've been saying that shit for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what?
I've been saying a lot too, man.
Exactly. You've got to step up and take charge. It's your damn program. You got a headset on. You hear the damn plays. If you don't like it, say, Coach, I don't want to run that shit. Let's get another play here. But you got to sit down and have that conversation with him.
Yeah, and he could have said it to him nicely, you know, and said, "Hey, man, look, let's not do that right now, you know, or whatever." And then if he continued, then you say, "Hey, motherfucker, did you hear me?" or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
he's talking about nicely, man.
I promise you, that's how Coach should have been. Coach it probably would have been ugly the first time though. Hey, I've seen that play enough.
Yeah,
I've seen that play enough. Yeah. By the time you said something, it would have been ugly.
So let me ask you this,
don't run that motherfucking jet sweep again. Not the rest of the damn game. Okay.
Is it Sippin Sooner? Is it Sippin Sooner?
Yeah. What's up, Shawty?
So what's happening? So I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna propose it to Jason as well. Matter of fact, to the panel. And could this just be the growing pains of a young new head coach?
Yeah.
And a young offensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it still falls on the head man, because at the end of the day, the head man has.
But I think
he has to be able.
Yeah, I think he shouldn't have agreed to some of Jeffrey's terms taking the damn job, actually, you know, because I think he probably told him, "Hey, man, I'm going to be hands off," which is fine in theory. But at some point, like you said, if you see him getting too far out of line, man, you got to snatch a knot in his ass, you know, get him back in line.
Yeah, you can't. You may have had those agreements coming in, but when you're running a piss poor offense, you got to be told, "Look, that shit's got to change."
Well, whose record is on the line? It ain't fucking Lebby's.
Right.
Nope.
You know? I mean,
and the reason I asked.
Go ahead.
Well, so the reason I asked, because that goes into in-game adjustment. And that's what I haven't been able. You know, I'm not here to knock on anyone. I'm just speaking football. That's not what. Have not.
You played the game at a high level. We want to hear you. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So that's what I haven't seen in Oklahoma in the past 3 or 4 weeks. If you notice in my comments, I've been talking about the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's the in-game adjustment. Like I haven't seen. That's why I was harping on the defense, not so much the offense. It was on the defense.
Right.
But I just haven't seen adjustment. So that what makes me think the head man has to be more involved. Period. He has to have a stronger voice. He has to have a stronger imprint on what's going on. He's giving these guys too much freedom.
His defense too, Shawty. It's been hurting his defense, because if you go and look at time of possession, it's been bad for the last 3 weeks. It wasn't great in the Texas game either, but they were able to put together 3 or 4 long drives, sustained drives, and that defense was humming that day. And this last week, the defense was fine. It wasn't on the defense for sure, because they shut down the best running back in the country. I'm not shut him down, but they kept him from. He's averaging 200 yards the last 6 games.
Guys, with travel, no matter what's going on, no matter where you play, no matter what the weather's like, what's going on, what's supposed to travel?
Defense.
Thank you.
Yep.
So if I don't let you, I don't care what you do on offense, you can't score more than my offense. I don't care what you're doing. So if they can hold y'all to 27, you got to score 28.
No, I agree with you on that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. What we were just talking about, they got the second drive of it. They had stopped them. They had stopped them on the second drive. They pinned them on the one. They 2 third down pickups. They're on the plus 35, and he gets cute right there. And instead of making that into a 99-yard scoring drive, now you just turned it over at midfield on a bullshit snap, right? And you've been having issues with the snap all year. But that changed the complexion. If you go down there, then your defense was on the sideline for another couple of minutes even if they just score and get the TV timeout, you get them there. Instead, it flips. They go down there and score, and now they've been on the damn – and it was an 11-play drive even from the 50. Oklahoma State drew it out a little bit and turned it into now they're tired. It switched the complexity of the game, Shawty. And that's a complimentary football. You talk about that all the time, complimentary football. And if you're not doing it, then you're putting it's just like what we talk about with Lincoln. You're putting them in a position that they cannot succeed.
Right.
These are the things that BV got to learn how to overcome too, guys.
Absolutely. That's why I said BV needs to nut up and take over his team. And listen, I am a fan of Brent Venables. I want him to be the head coach. But it's time. I mean, look, man. Your defense is suffering because of this shit. Handle that.
He needs to just tell Jeffrey, look, man, we ain't running no cute shit when we go on the road, because like you said, Andrew Raym has struggled with the snap all damn year. Yes, so at least let him do all the cute shit at home where you ain't got the crowd on your ass the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
I can't call it.
No. Well, but again, Brent Venables has just got, and I love Coach Venables. I really do. I got a good relationship with him, but I truly believe that, and guys, let's face the facts. We've seen some great defense coordinators. We've seen some great offensive coordinators, but when they make that transition, some got it and some don't, because it's a whole different world when you step into those shoes as the head coach. And the question mark is still out there. My team is the same way. My team's going through the same thing OU's going through.
Mm-hmm.
Is
that's the next thing we're about to talk
coordinator
about. Your boys. Next thing we're going to do.
And y'all having a tougher time, man, Coach.
Oh, a lot tougher time. As a matter of fact, we're regressing. But going back to something you said a little while ago, reminded me about the defensive stuff. Shawty, and I always used to tell my teams, look, guys, if they don't score any, it don't take many. And that's, yeah. You just, hell, you can give me a damn safety if they don't score any. I don't give a shit. But the defense has got to, they got to play. They got to, but if the offense isn't doing their part, it sure puts pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
This is something, Neilio, I appreciate you bringing this up. This is another thing that Julie's going through cancer treatments and stuff right now too, and I think that could. He's a tough cat though, and he's never going to use that as an excuse. But when your wife is going through that, you kind of wonder how much of him is there. Right. He didn't want to. He did definitely. In his press conference today, they started bringing up the stuff about Lebby, because he did say that last night, but he said we're on to West Virginia. That's all he kept saying. We're on to West Virginia. I ain't hearing it. I applaud him for it, but he needs to handle it. And I think that eventually he will. It's too much to fire. They're going to cost way too much to fire him, so they're going to give him time. And I think they want him to succeed there too.
And I think they need to give him time.
Absolutely.
Because he's doing a lot of great things. He really is doing a lot of great things. We can talk about the recruiting. There's a lot of good things going on, and that's been a while. OU has needed this for a while. And I think he's going the right direction. He just needs a little help. Hell, bring in a Barry Switzer to sit down with him and have those conversations of, look, you really need to sit down and talk to your offense coordinator, and help those guys. A head coach has been successful. Give him some of those helping pointers. And it may be going on, I don't know, but it's not
I
clearly
think Stoops
shown.
and him are still pretty tight. I think that there was a while there at the first that I was a little worried that him and Stoops didn't like each other after everything that happened. But I think he's definitely leaning on him now.
Well, he needs to, because
Sure.
and and again, I talk about this all the time. Coaches' egos. We're damn it, we're not just coaches, athletes, and coaches.
Hey,
We
man,
have
coaches
huge egos.
might be worse, man. Shit.
Oh,
Guys
and
got
I would
egos
probably
as
agree.
big as the day is long. Shit.
I would agree. I think I'm the only coach in the country that ever coached that didn't have an ego.
Hey,
God, this is
my first
amazing.
reporting job, my first real sports editor job in Hobbs, he left Dallas Skyline, came to Hobbs. Man, we hit it off quick, but yeah, you don't have an ego at all. Shit.
I think one of BV's biggest problems is that, for all these years, he's been able to have tunnel vision and just focus on just the defensive side of the ball alone. And so he's struggling to adjust, worrying about timeouts, time management, his fuck ass offensive coordinator, everything else. You know what I mean?
But and again, that piece right there. When I first became a head coach, I remember I had those struggles. But I started figuring out, I got an offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams coordinator, but then I had these other assistant coaches in the box. Well, coach, I want you doing this, and you let me know when we're in this situation. Coach, I want you to tell me, do we need to go for 2 here? Or we need to go for 1? What, I want you to keep me ahead of the game. If we're coming down in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game, and hey, we need to be thinking about this, coach, because the head coach, he's got all kinds of shit on his mind.
Coach, what you getting at? I'm sorry, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shawty.
Well, I'm just going to piggyback on what you're saying, and because what you're getting at is great leaders know how to delegate. And I think it's just some growing pains of Venables. He's just in his second year. He's got it, you know what I'm saying? I think he is a great leader. And he's just now learning how to delegate. Yeah. And what he's going to have to do, not only learn how to delegate, now he's going to have to learn how to pull the reins back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave you so much cushion. You ain't ready for that yet. Just like I wasn't ready for a head coach. Yeah. I had to learn things. You as my OC don't have to learn things the way I want.
Yeah.
Well, somebody said on the show the other night, I mean, when you're a guy that knows defense the way he does, and so that means offenses too. You don't tell me that you don't know what can work for that offense and how to run a good game plan and what hurts you and your defenses that you've run during all that time. Well, Brenskie, what are you thinking about all this stuff? I see you back there with the mute on. So what do you? I know that you were kind of talking on Ty's show the other day about that you weren't too sure about him yet. So where are you at on BV?
That's what I said, man. You just got to give this stuff time, man. I always believe in giving people time. If, like, prime example, Nick Saban first year at Alabama, we go 6-6. Let that happen in today's time. They'll be ready like, oh, no, we got to get up out of here. I'm like, man, let his players come in there. Mm-hmm. You gotta let folks build. Now, if this was happening and it was year 5, then I will panic. I'll be like, what are you doing? We're moving backwards or whatnot. But man, you just got to give folks time. His track record as a defensive coordinator it speaks for itself. The man is first ballot Hall of Famer when it comes to defensive coordinator. He is that guy. Just let him build up the team. Mm-hmm. We know that defense is going to be solid sooner or later. Just you see the players that he's bringing in. Now, if he can't produce with those players, then you will know everything you need to know. You have to give it time. All this stuff takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. And if you want Oklahoma to be back to the Oklahoma,
give it time.
I hope they're not back next year because we roll in now.
and that's what I was going to say. The issue is they could be getting incrementally better, but also the role and the test are getting incrementally harder. So it's going to be harder to see that success
So you're just gonna have to get that type of stuff time. I know some folks want to be frustrated because you see all these other teams doing great. Listen here, only person I know that went, to be honest, Brent Venables came into a bad situation, to be honest, because all those guys
absolutely.
All those guys that left in the transfer portal to go follow Lincoln Riley, or they went somewhere.
The narrative was not the truth. That's for sure. Yeah.
So just because it's the name up there, trust me, it's a big difference. That man had to build this. So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's only certain guys that come into great situations. Only person I can think of right now is like Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart walked into a great situation. It ain't like they was just god awful. They were still good, but they just wasn't great. All he had to do,
we were 8-5 this first year.
Look at that. But y'all wasn't bad at all. Y'all wasn't. I know Mark Ritt. I can promise.
He was winning 10 games most of the time.
Yeah, I said, but you're talking about a program that's consistently winning 10 games. We took a step back first year.
Y'all are literally, I think it was the 2012 or 2013. Y'all was literally, all you had to do was just drop that pass in the SEC championship game to save time, and you may play Notre Dame in the national championship and won. And Mark Ritt would have a national championship. Whoever won out of that game was beating Notre Dame in the national championship.
But even Dan had to get rid of some guys though too, and all that over there. He did. We had Big Dave on, and he was talking about that. Yeah, they've used the portal a lot over there.
Yeah.
So I mean, because Cristobal couldn't recruit, but he wasn't recruiting a full complement of the guys they needed.
Yeah, even with him, he's still now. You still got to give him time too, but I can understand why it looked so bad in Miami, just because they had some ugly losses, man. That Georgia Tech loss was just
stupid shit.
Well, all time ugly.
Good grief! Yeah,
I don't even know how to explain that. Then I think they played Middle Tennessee last year, and they lose that. That's them are like bad losses. It's okay if you lose to.
Tell you, I'd have heard coach from the sideline and up in the press box if that shit would have happened to one of his teams. If they'd even tried to get that play through.
That wasn't even the first time, Jason. He's done it before. He's tricked himself, out-coached himself, analytics or whatever you want to call it.
Dumbest shit
ever. Not the first time.
And the crazy thing is, man, he knows more football than I would ever know, and I have more common sense than he does in that situation.
That is bad, bro.
Like, come on, man.
I'm telling you guys, coaches outsmart themselves too.
They
think, you know what? I'm gonna trick these some bitches. they trick themselves.
The hell
they fool themselves.
Well,
talking about
he's gonna be out of a job. I can promise you this, Coach. If he does any of this next year, if let's just say next year looks exactly like this year, he's gone. I can't. I don't see a world where he's come back for a fourth year, because it'd be like, where are you improving at?
When's the last time they had a coach for 4 years? It's been a minute, right? That's not how Miami rolls.
No.
That's not how Miami rolls. Shannon wasn't there 4 years, and I think he was there the longest since.
He probably was there before.
Was he there for that long?
I don't know. He probably.
I'm going to pose a question for each one of you. How many years do you think a head coach should have to build his program?
I always say 4 to 5 years every time.
I think at least 4.
At least 4.
Right.
I say 6.
6 is pushing it.
Well, but that's
with the transfer portal era. With the transfer portal era still.
So this is you know why I say 6, Jason? Because I'm gonna give you a prime example. Oklahoma. Because most people don't understand. You're gonna have the biggest jump in your program in year 2 for a new head coach, no matter what the situation is. And the first thing they're gonna say with that big jump the second year, he doing it with such and such players. He ain't even got his own players in yet. So in the 3 years after that, that's what's going to truly show what you got, because now you finally got your players in. And that's at least 5 years.
It used to be that way, Shawty. But I mean,
I'm just answering the question. I ain't saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just answering the question.
Like VV, I mean, who's left? I mean, Danny and Ethan Downs and Woody Washington. Those are guys left over from Lincoln. But I mean, Lincoln took his quarterbacks with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I mean, really,
everybody on the offense is all his guys, damn near.
85% of them are gone now. It's all different.
But that's a very unique situation as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a very unique situation. But I truly think you need to give a coach 5 to 6 years to be successful and show what he can do.
And guys, and the reason I asked that, because I want to see how far off base I was on this. My answer to that would be 5 to 7 years. And I know 7 sounds like a hell of a long time, but obviously you need to be making progress during that 5 to 7 years,
right.
or your ass needs to be gone. But truly to instill your entire program, because when you start talking about coaching changes, player changes, philosophy, culture, I mean, there's a lot that goes under that umbrella. And that shit doesn't happen overnight. That takes some time. And so I truly believe 5 to 7 years for you to actually see the fruits of your labor and your program.
I'm glad you guys brought this up, because this is going to get us into our last topic here. You've been hearing a lot about Notre Dame, and that they've been slipping a little bit in some of these games. And obviously they did
a little bit,
but everybody has beaten USC. So the question is, and you've been hearing a lot of Notre Dame people saying that maybe this is too much for Marcus Freeman. What do you think about that?
Who, me?
Yep, it's your team.
Well, I maybe not for long. No, I'm shit. No, I think it's the same thing, guys. I think you got a new coach. I think you got to give him some time. I think he's also doing some good things. He's recruiting well, better than they have in many years
that I can remember.
It's been a long damn time. It has. So he's recruiting well. He's a player's coach. The players love him. I think he's got some of the same things that BV needs to learn. You got to sit down and tell your offense coordinator, look, what the shit is this? I mean, what the hell are we running? Same kind of thing, kind of like y'all's jet sweep and no complimentary plays off of it. Well, I don't know how many of you watched the game the other day, but we ran the counter trade probably 15, 20 times in the game. But we have no bootleg off of it. There's no complimentary play calls to come off of that. So we're struggling with the same thing, is that offense coordinator. Now, you guys know we tried to hire a good offense coordinator.
Yeah.
The administration didn't want to pay him. So that's an issue. And we all know this, guys.
SC paid $1 million to Oklahoma to get Grinch, to buy Grinch out.
And so we all know this. You know what? If your administration is not willing to do the things that it takes for you as a head coach to be successful, you're screwed. I don't care how you
ice skating uphill.
Exactly, guys. But here's the thing. We got to wait on this. And number one, we're getting a new athletic director.
Right.
Number two, we're getting a new president.
That's the scary part, is what I'm saying. If you got these new guys coming in and you kind of quote unquote underachieved, that could be a bad situation for Marcus Freeman.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think they're going to realize too the underachievement came because administratively they're not getting that support. Now, if they want to run the same kind of program that the last two did, the president and athletic director, then he's screwed. But if they're willing to say, hey, look, we need to help Marcus, we need to make our athletics better, this academic bullshit that we sell all the time. And I'm not saying we're a bad school but we sell this academic bullshit to everybody across the country. Our athletes are smarter than bullshit. We ain't no smarter than anybody else. And so when we can get away from some of that mindset, and our president is telling all our doctorate degree instructors professors that we have, look, we believe in academics, but we also believe in athletics. Because let me tell y'all's asses something. Athletics pays a lot of y'all's damn salaries. Mm-hmm. So we're going to make this work together. And so I think right now, some of the biggest keys are he needs to get an offense coordinator. This guy was at West Virginia. He didn't pee a drop at West Virginia. He's not the right guy. I think he's a great tight ends coach. I really do. He's done a great job. He's coached the tight end since he's been there. They
were so ready for his ass to be out of freaking Morgantown whenever he left there.
I'm telling you. But again, I'm not sure that's Marcus's fault. I think Marcus was forced into that hire because if you remember, it was a late deal. We already thought we had our guy. Then we don't want to pay him, and so his hand was forced. Obviously he's defending him.
Yeah. He didn't have a choice.
He's defending the guy, but hell, if you're the head coach, you better try to defend your staff.
Sure.
At least until the season's over, then you can say, look, your shit's gone, dude. I mean, sorry, things didn't work out. But he still needs some time, just like BB needs some time. And I think Marcus will be fine.
Yeah. No, and I think this is right too. The parity is in college football right now. Now means the dominance area may be over a while. Right. But I also think that, let me find that coffee thing. I also think that because of the fact that you can hit the portal, I mean, they're expecting you to win quicker, right? So I think I could see 6 and 7 15, 20 years ago. But now it's more like if you hit 5 years and you're not still, especially depending on where you're at, you hit that 5th year and you haven't done any better than 500 or so, and you're not achieving what you think that they should, they're not going to keep them around anymore because now it's time for contract.
Sandwich. Sandwich. Exactly. I'm telling y'all about that sandwich.
That sandwich you said, bro. Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Well, and I tell you what, guys, I have another burr under my ass too. Is through this underachieving offense coordinator. Sam Hartman has steadily gotten worse week in and week out. And you can't tell me he's not a good quarterback, guys. He won, where he was before, and they're not exactly a school powerhouse, a college powerhouse. But he was successful, and he started off the season fine. Now, I know, and I'll go back and say this, we played some shitty teams the first 3 or 4 ball games. I get that. But you saw a different Sam Hartman than we have seen here since the Louisville game. I mean, Louisville kind of started the trickle-down effect of not being worth a shit. And he's played horrible. And so I think we've coached Hartman down. But with that being said, I think we need to be a little bit careful about going back to the portal for a quarterback, because at some point you're not going to be able to recruit any more good quarterbacks because they're going to say, well, shit, they go to the portal every year. to
just
get their
like Lincoln
quarterback.
Riley.
Yes.
Just like
And so again, we need to start growing our own. And so again, I know that's a tough deal to do, but we got to do that. And sorry guys, the big question is, what do we do from here on out? Because we're coming up, not this weekend, but the following week, we play Duke. Well, here's another question for you guys. So you got to look to the future. Do you, we got Kenny Minchie and our second team quarterback is, I just forgot his name, but do you play those guys and not play Sam? Or to me, the right thing to do is you got to stay with Sam. If you're going to do the right thing for him, especially against Duke. I mean, I that's just my thoughts. But anyway, what would y'all do in that situation?
Go ahead, Shawty.
I will continue to play my starter. Because first of all, Coach, I don't want to give no explanation to my team that I have given up on the season. We still got a lot to play for. Yeah. And we want to make it to a great bowl game, the best bowl game that we can get to. And that's when I started developing the team for next year and start developing my young players, because the bowl games allowed me to get those extra practices in that I normally would not get. So that's when I use that time to start developing that. But with that being said, no, I'm still all steam headed forward with my starters, especially when I know he's the guy. We're going to make the best out of him. And that's what I want to tell and show my team. And you touched on a lot of great points. I think the first time I met you, I kind of always shoot from the hip. And that's what I asked you the first time I saw you, Coach, was, do you think that Marcus is the guy? And I said the key to Marcus is getting the players is going to be the easier part. But developing them and keeping them is going to be the hard part.
Yeah. I agree with you, Shawty.
Well, here we about to be in that same situation if we fuck around and lose Saturday. Because the question then is going to be what we do with DG, because at that point, as far as I'm concerned, we can start getting ready for the SEC at that point. The more experience we can get Jackson, the better. So we don't have to hit the ground with him day one, making his first ever damn start, because, I mean, you already know, man, we got a feeling that Alabama game is going to be early in the season next year, too.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can't come in there half-step and mess around and get our ass tooted and booted. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
It's a catch-22 situation because, man, you don't want to, like I say, you don't want to give the team any inclination that you're giving up, because at the end of the day, that's just like the next guy you put in. What if the same thing happened next year? He's thinking, hey, man, you're going to give up on me and go with the next guy too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even your kid, I think we have a good quarterback. I think Minchie's really good, the freshman. I think he's got a strong arm. I think he's a good athlete. I think we got CJ Carr coming in this spring. CJ is a pretty good quarterback, but I don't want to see us losing because of the things you're just talking about. Well, hell, they just keep running through quarterbacks. I don't know. It is a catch-22.
It is. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe you can run something kind of like what Kansas State was doing with Howard and their backup quarterback. I mean, not 50-50, but maybe, do something about 80-20 or something like that.
You don't want to waste the guy eligibility either. At this point in the year, you can waste a guy eligibility because he plays so many hours. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that.
They kind of already, Brent came out and said a while back that they didn't have any intentions on redshirting Jackson anyway this year. So if that's the case, then let's roll. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's only if we lose Saturday. Now, if we go ahead and beat West Virginia, then everything's still on the table, mathematically.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out, but I don't know. Where did Jason go? He the damn host. He leave us?
Yeah. What the hell?
So you guys are not expecting DG to be your starting quarterback next year?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think they're gonna end up basically telling DG, even if he wants to come back to college, that he's got to go find somewhere else. He's gonna be next year's Sam Hartman.
As good as he's playing, he's not good enough to be your starter.
Hey,
hell, if you listen to the fan base, he ain't good enough.
Now I'm back into now that puts me back into the portal for Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I'd love to have DG.
I don't think he's gonna have no problem finding a home, coach.
I think
hell no.
I think DG.
Oklahoma fans have a problem with him. That's it, though.
Right. I think DG, man, as much as I love DG, Saturday, I must admit, man, he kind of let me down with that arm, though, because had he had the arm to get that out there to Farouk, he had like 3 touchdowns, man. He had those 2 that he got on the right side, and then that one on the left that he got the pass interference that he still caught. All 3 of those balls was underthrown.
So he can't make all the throws.
Jackson probably makes all 3 of those throws, but the problem is where is Jackson gonna fuck you in the? He's gonna do you dirty somewhere else because it's inexperience.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? But
what
as far as throwing,
on the show the other day is you can't be for I mean, because Dylan's arm isn't terrible. It's not
right.
It isn't Jackson Arnold arm. It's not some of these guys. You can't be late if you're Dylan. You need to hit that thing in the break. You need to get rid of that football. If you want them to run under it, you can't be late. And he's late. That's the problem you get with DG is he hesitates to throw it sometimes.
His anticipation is not on par, you know. I mean, he doesn't anticipate very well. It's almost like he has to see it and then go, is he open? Yeah, he's open. Let me throw it. You know, instead of going, I'm going to throw this ball and he better get there. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't another year in the offense allow him to work and help on that time?
No, only because he's been in Lebby's offense, 3 years now?
Yeah.
I thought it was his first year. I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't even know.
He was with him at UCF. He wanted Leb to have the job at UCF too. That's why he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
And believe me, man, I want Jackson Arnold Dylan Gabriel to succeed, but I mean, you know, when you hear the people talk about his arm strength, I'm like, well, his arm is good enough. Well, Saturday it wasn't good enough, man.
No, and that's what we all said to Chris. I was like, look, man, you can't be late if you don't have the arm to get it out there, and they're waiting. Yeah. Now, those were interference, those are past interferences, but they ain't gonna call it, you know.
But with the steps that Farouk had on that guy over there, man. I mean, if he lays those out in front, man, I mean, those are both touchdowns, especially on the right side.
No doubt.
Because he held up and got interfered on, huh?
Farouk was swerving though.
Yeah, but
I'm teasing. I'm talking about him getting thrown in jail.
Yeah, talking about the driving part of it. Hey, I had to explain that to somebody. They was like, "Why come he can't drive?" I said, "Well, he's from the DC area, I believe, ain't he?" And so they don't know how to drive back over there, man.
So he was just swerving, man.
I would be the last one to comment on anybody's team in driving tickets, so I ain't gonna even say that.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
No doubt. Guys, so I did put that coffee link in there. So make sure that you get over there. Check out that Devil Dogs brews and beans. Look, guys, I'm super excited about that. Sippin, I'm glad you came on because you can get involved in this as well. I know you're a veteran too, right?
Yes, sir.
So this affiliate deal, you can get involved in it, and if you you get a commission for everything you sell, but also, and thank you for your service, by the way. But
I appreciate it.
This every time that somebody buys from this guy, it's similar to that Black Rifle coffee. They actually donate 5% to the Wounded Warrior Project, which is something that I know you probably are like me, that it's important to me. That's the only reason I really wanted to get involved. He's a former Marine as well, but we can actually I can get you the information, and he'll definitely get you where you can have it's an affiliate deal. So it could be a good sponsor for you.
Yeah, it'd be my first one if I got him.
Yeah. No, you got him. You got him. He he's a veteran too. So it'd be a good deal, and basically you can sign other folks up as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Any other guys. But yeah, I'll definitely before you jump off, we'll exchange information so I can get a hold of you that way. But no, guys, make sure that you use that. I put it's in the description now as well. I put it right under the headline here. And it's devildogbruisingbeans.com/my name. So you guys can go on there, get up to 10% off. And again, they go ahead and roast and grind that coffee. When you order it that day, it ships out. So you make sure that you get freshness right to your door. I think I should have had mine delivered today. So again, get on there, check it out. There's a bunch of different coffees for you coffee drinkers. And, again, it's helping out the best people in the country, which is our veterans that have sacrificed there. So excited about that deal for us.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, let's see. Did we have anything else on this list of things to talk about? Anything else you guys want to talk about concerning? How about them dogs, man? What's up with your boys? They looked pretty good there, Shawty.
Well, man, this is what I say to Oklahoma, man. My motto, well, not my motto. Our motto is, man, just keep chopping wood. That's what we're doing. We continue to chop wood, and we're trying to peak at the right time. It hasn't looked pretty always, but that's one thing that I have noticed. We are improving every week, and something that I mentioned on our show earlier. At the end of the day, Jason, Coach, and Sippin, we have to be one of the best. We have to have one of the best coaching staff when it comes to in-game. Yes,
no doubt.
I agree.
I mean, so I take my hat off to that. I'm happy to have that because when you watch football and you know enough football, you can tell that our coaches are coaching. There's a hierarchy. And one thing that I've learned, and a lot of people don't realize, we don't coach our players during the game. We don't talk to them like that during the game. We let them
They've already
play.
been coached.
There you go. And we coach them afterwards. That's why you never see coaches hollering at coach players and arguments and stuff. Because we don't coach like that. Mm-hmm. We literally don't coach like that during the game. We wait to halftime and after the game when we coach. All we doing on the sideline during the game, just enforcing our game plan. In fundamentals, of course, always. So I think we rolling, bro. Do I have some concerns moving forward? Sure. Because we're not as dominant as we would like to be. And I honestly think there's still, 4 or 5 teams that can beat us on any given Saturday. But we're going to keep chopping wood, Jason, man. We're going to take one week at a time.
Hey, Shawty, let me ask you one question. Are y'all the defending champs?
Back to back.
Yeah. And until you're unseated, then that's when people can talk some shit. But I'm going to tell you something. When we talked about Georgia earlier, and you probably remember this, I was one of the few that said they will repeat. They'll be the first to three-peat. And I still believe that. I think you're right. I think there's more parity in those top teams this year. But I'm going to tell you, though, so in y'all's minds, who are the top 4 teams that you believe are going to be there when it's all said and done?
You guys go ahead.
Georgia.
I'll go last. Georgia's my number 1, so go ahead.
Yeah. Who do you guys think?
I don't know yet. Sippin and me, I don't know. I guess I go. I think Sippin still tied up. So you want my top 4 teams?
Who do you think
order?
the top 5? Yeah,
or do you want?
Top 4.
Can I just tell you who I think the top 4?
No, don't have to be
teams.
in order. Just top 4.
Top 4 best teams in the nation, to me, in my opinion, that I would like to see. Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, and probably Michigan, because I really think they're better than Ohio State.
Then OSU. Yeah.
Oh,
Who you got Sippin?
Is this the 4 that we think is going to actually be there, or the 4 best that we think that there is?
I want to know who the 4 best that are going to
Who's
be
the
there.
4 best teams? Yeah.
Well, you got Georgia, and I'm gonna have to go opposite of you and put Ohio State in there. I am only because Jim knows, man. You know, we already knew year 2 that if he could do it at OSU, I'm talking about Oklahoma State, then I knew he could do it at Ohio State with better athletes. It was just a matter of time before they started locking these boys down out there, and that defense is playing real good, man. I don't know about the offense so much, and don't look now, man, but I don't know, man, Shawty. That's going to be a battle, man, with y'all in Alabama, because Alabama's looking good right now, man.
They are.
Milrose is a problem.
Yeah, and I'd rather see Oregon over Florida State. I just don't think Florida State's any good, bro.
I agree with you on that, but I also don't think that Washington at this point, from what we're seeing with their defense, I don't think they got enough in it to get it done. I think their offense is great, but I think they're very, very similar.
Oregon's going to beat them by 2 touchdowns when they meet them again.
I think so too. I think that if it hadn't been for him going for it a few times when he shouldn't have, he got a little too aggressive on the road there. And I think that they still should have won the game, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, that's it, pretty much. I mean, I don't think Texas can do it. So
hell no. They ain't doing
it. So that's gonna be the Power 5 who left out this Big 12.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Yeah, because Oklahoma, I think that Oklahoma still has a shot. I'll buy Okie Light when they actually do the shit. So I don't see that. I still think I don't think that they should lose. I think they'll find a way to screw it up though. I think they will. And I think Texas will too. So I think there's an opportunity there for Oklahoma to still get there. Now, does OU win out? It's good. It's the question of the day for me is that right now I don't know that they do.
I think, we'll find out Saturday, because if they get by West Virginia, I think they do.
That's the best team left that they've got. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's still all going to come down to what is Jeffrey going to do. Because if Jeffrey comes out here and he's pissed off and he actually wants to just dumb it down and go vanilla, that might actually be the best formula. Yeah. As long as he don't come out here and get cute.
I'm good with dumbing it down, because at this point, it's the wrinkles that are pissing me off.
Yeah, but they might overcome his calls anyway. Though we at home, we've been gone for 2 weeks now. It's time for us to come back home, and he'll probably make 5-6 baffling fucking calls, and then we'll just overcome that shit. But they better watch out though for Green, because if they let him bust our ass again after what he did to us last year, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
Yeah, and he's been. Hey man, I can't believe that they're the number 1 offense in the damn conference right now.
Man,
so you guys have no worries or issues about possibly how your team's site could be after these 2 losses?
Oh yeah, that's the worry. I think that's a worry. Yeah.
How they like to do what?
That where their psyche is right now and how they're.
No, I ain't worried about that part. I mean, like I said, now if this was a team still full of most of Lincoln's players, then I would be. Because I remember, man, all they had to do was give up a first down here or there, and they was already hanging their heads and shit. You can damn near just count the touchdown.
Still what they're doing.
Yeah, these boys, you can still see them fighting, man, even though they knew that the offense was dicking them down and not helping them out, man. You know that much sometimes during that game. They got
2 4th down stops. They had 2 4th down stops in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They had, they look, nobody had kept Ollie Gordon under 200 yards in 6 weeks, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he was averaging. He had almost 300 in one game.
Yeah, they gave up a shitload of yards, but I mean, they still played good enough to win the game. Unfortunately, they did.
Hey, Jason. And shout out to Chicken, man. We talked about this earlier in the season, Jason. At the end of the day, no matter where it happens, you guys, the consolation prize would be you guys playing USC bowl. I forgot what bowl we said it was going to be. early in the year.
I think
That would be a
Lincoln
great
would turn
consolation
that
prize.
shit down immediately.
Amen.
I don't think that.
You
I don't
think
think
so?
Lincoln would want a thing to do with that. He would want nothing
wow.
to do with that.
That might be out of his. He might can't make that decision though, Coach.
Maybe not.
That's right.
Maybe not.
It might
You
not
could
be.
right on that, but I don't know, man. Yeah, actually though, the way things have gone this season, he might not be able to be in a position to make that make that choice.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Ooh, I think there's some dudes that would love to get a shot at Caleb Williams too, though, and I don't know that they would get that.
He won't play in that game.
He won't play in that game.
He won't play. He'll be getting ready for the combine.
Yeah, he may not even finish the season out, guys.
I don't really see. I don't know that I see that happening. To be honest with you, it could.
But I mean, Caleb and no Caleb, we'll take a shot at Lincoln though for sure.
It'll be fun.
Sure.
It would be fun.
Either way, it's going to be.
I think it would be the highest ratings that you could get. I think that you would, aside from the playoff, and even better than some of the playoff games, maybe, depending on who gets there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I sure like. Obviously, I like Georgia. I like Oregon. I don't like, but I have to choose them. Is Michigan. And although, with all that background noise, what the hell's going to happen there? That's always interesting.
I don't think Harbaugh gives a shit.
Well, Harbaugh doesn't give a shit about anything. I mean,
if Ohio State switches up those signs, they'll beat Michigan.
You know what? I disagree with that. I mean, we're not very damn good at Notre Dame. We should have beat their ass. If we put a dead person at defensive tackle, we win the game. We could have put a. They had 10 men on the field. We could have put a fucking corpse down at defensive tackle and won that game.
Just lay him on the field.
Hey,
just lay his ass there. Just lay his ass there.
Hey, we played with 10 and they ran right where we didn't have our defensive tackle, and he barely got in by inches.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm not
telling you.
Nice chicken. Thanks, man.
I've not been impressed with Ohio State at all. I haven't. That's just me. I think.
To your point, Coach.
Yeah.
To your point, Coach. Now I'm not switching subject, but I'm telling you what. And Ryan Day gonna have a problem if you don't beat Michigan this year.
Damn right he is. He had a problem last year. I'm surprised he got back. He needs to beat them. He definitely needs to beat them, I think.
Yeah,
I agree. And I like
come out getting rid of him.
I agree.
The fans didn't want to get rid of his ass. Man, you saw how they were doing CJ Stroud last year. Shit, after they lost to him. CJ was a bad dude, man. CJ was a bad dude, and they were ugly to him, man. Ugly.
Well, my last team, guys, is Florida State. I know people don't think they're going to be there.
I don't like Jordan Travis that much.
They got the easiest path, Coach.
That's my point. They got a cakewalk into it.
They might fuck around and lose to Louisville though if they ain't careful.
Now Louisville could do that.
I think so too. I think Jeff Brom's a better coach. I think Jeff Brom's a better coach than.
But I'm telling you, I picked them in my early preseason. Everybody laughed at my ass, but I picked them coming in number 2.
You did.
But
I can see Florida beating their ass too.
Well, yeah. But hell,
I just don't think they got the roster.
Florida is trash, though.
You better. Are you buying coffee or are you buying crack?
I was just messing around, man. I was just trying to see who was gonna freaking shit on it first.
I tell you what, and I tell you what, guys. From a Notre Dame perspective, I know we're going to be playing in the shit bowl, probably the toilet bowl. But boy, I sure would love to play LSU in the toilet bowl.
Ooh,
you may.
Great matchup.
I can see that happening too.
That would be fun.
Same amount of losses right now.
That would be super fun.
I could see it happening.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now our records are identical, and there could be a possibility of that. So I'm kind of
Brian Kelly versus Notre Dame.
Hey,
Lincoln versus Oklahoma.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yeah.
What did you guys think of that?
And that's why it's likely to happen. It's sales.
Yeah.
Kim's got a good question here. I want everybody to answer this question before we get out of here. Anyone see Caleb's response to their loss? Now, first, the first response was him climbing into the stands and bawling with his mama, which is weird to me.
He about a crying ass motherfucker.
He is.
That's 2 weeks in a row he's been crying.
Man, he's been crying for freaking 3 years.
What do you expect from a motherfucker that paints his fingernails?
And then he said all he wanted to do was go home and snuggle with his dog.
Well, guys, his mama, and I don't mean this with disrespect because I'm talking about his mama not being his real mama.
About his mama.
Maybe his mama was his girlfriend, and maybe his dog is also his girlfriend. So there might be some.
I'm not going to even say what I want to say.
Yeah, don't demonetize me, man. Come on now, y'all. Be nice.
You already demonetized.
What do y'all think about that, though? I mean, that's as a football player. How are you looking at your quarterback like that, Shawty?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Jason. They already know. They know more than I know. They with them. Yep. So they already know what's up.
They already know.
That's a fact.
Yeah, they already know. So, but just honestly, man, for me being on the outside, looking in on this particular perspective,
cry too damn much is the only thing. It ain't about gay or straight or any of that to me. I don't give a shit.
Oh no. I ain't talking about that. But just from my damn opinion, I do think what it does, it's gonna open up a lot of NFL eyes.
To what?
In terms of scouting
We don't
and recruiting and personality tests. A lot of things deal with personality when you come out NFL as a quarterback,
big old baby,
and leading your team.
Yeah.
What do you do under pressure when things are not going right? Because in the NFL, more than likely, they're not right. Because you're going to be a number one pick. You're going to probably go to the worst.
Oh, it's going to be real bad for a while, especially if you end up in down. Yeah. I think he's gonna have to come with some kind of. And watch this now. I'm glad you asked this question. Watch how they try to switch this around. Oh, they're just a passion for the game. He just hate losing because he's so competitive. So that's what those tears are about. But this wasn't like before where you just see him. He's got tears and he's covering his face. He was balling to the point.
Like he got his ass whooped.
But you don't do this on the side as a leader. You don't do this on the sideline in front of on national TV. You don't do this on the sideline when your guys are still out there fighting and trying to win the game.
Is he gonna pull that in the NFL when he get there?
That's what
exactly. That's what Shawty's saying.
That's what I'm getting at.
Josh Crenshaw, welcome to the show, sir. He's got a super chat. Really appreciate the content. Quick question: if we drop another game, what needs to happen with the staff moving into the SEC? I don't think that they're going to put up with a whole lot more from Jeff Lebby. I don't think. I tend to wonder if the writing's not already on the wall with what we heard from BV last night when he said that. That's my opinion. Sippin, what do you think?
Man, look, I mean, like I said, Jeff, I don't know what the hell he be thinking half the time. But I do know this, though. I don't really want Jeff to go anywhere. I don't want to have to start over from fucking square one all over again, man. I really don't. I would much rather BV just to pull him to the side. I mean, slap the shit out of him or whatever you got to do. Get him to start calling this shit right.
Offensive dudes in there that should be working with him. There's some stuff you can do. But you got to be willing to take some of this instruction, too.
Yeah, but now how pissy is Jeff gonna get though once BV actually puts his hands in the pot? He might decide to take one of those damn group of 5 jobs that's gonna come after him this summer. And in that case, then hell, you just got to do what you got to do. And then maybe Seth Luttrell, Matt Wells.
Matt Wells, hey, look, and Matt Wells did a great job. I just don't think that Tech was the spot for Matt.
What about what's his name at Colorado who just got demoted? I like his passing game. I don't know about his running game, though.
They ran the shit out of the ball at Kent State.
Yeah. He just didn't have an offensive line at Colorado, so.
Nothing.
They demoted the OC in Colorado.
Yeah.
And then
all them freaking points they score and can't stop nobody. You demote the OC.
Yep. He sure did.
Sure did, and then scored 5 points last week.
That's another guy Notre Dame needs.
Yeah.
Dude,
man, offense was not your problem.
Wasn't his problem.
But Sippin, as you talk about Lebby and how does he react, that's the big question. If BB has that tough conversation and he sulls up and he's pissed or whatever, then it's easy. The BB says, "Look, I tried to talk to you about it. You need to move your ass on. It's time."
He already was pissy about his damn daddy.
Yeah, he was. That's what Josh just said.
Yeah, take it. If you can't take some criticism, then get the hell out of here. We'll find somebody that we can.
I understand about the Bryles thing because here's what I think happened with that. I don't think that for 1 second that was a mandate. That didn't become a mandate until Parker's little punk ass freaking took that picture and wanted to make sure to get that shit on freaking Twitter. He gets on my last damn nerve. I swear to God.
Who that? Parker,
yeah, he gets. He's always starting some shit. He's always trying to start some shit.
You talk about a great offensive coach is friggin' Art Bryles.
Hell yeah, he is. But listen, I understand why people in Oklahoma. I mean, I said this at the time. Let's not act like Oklahoma is a freaking beacon of women's rights. Okay, let's just not do that.
Not with Barry Switzer.
Anybody. Shit, it's freaking Oklahoma, man. But that being said, I appreciate and understand how people feel about Art. I don't know that it was really anything as much to do with Art and that staff as it was going on before that shit. That's a fact. That's a fact.
It was running through the basketball and the football program.
Damn right it was. And I think that Seth Luttrell is another good guy that would be a good one too. Here's the thing is, but I don't think that was ever said, because if you remember that, what did BV say that Friday? He said, I didn't know he was here. He was taken aback by it. He didn't want to talk about it. And then later on, then you got Joe C coming out there saying, well, we had that conversation. And if they'd had that conversation, damn good and well that Lebby wouldn't have acted like that in that press conference. No damn way. So I don't buy it. Now, that being said, he is probably pissy about it.
Yeah, or he's about to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
You don't want to go into the SEC with a new OC, man. Y'all need to have some stability.
They need to fix
best teams have stability, man. Gotta have some.
You see what I said? Hank even said it. Parker's a classic snitch. Fight security of the world, Craig.
but guys, as we're talking about this is another area for a young head coach, and how does he go in and approach it? Number one, there's a lot of heat on his ass already about his OC, and so, but don't let that light a fire under your ass so that you go in there saying, look, I'm going to tell you one damn thing, you son of a bitch. You better start. It's how you present it. Go in and say, look, coach, we had some things go wrong that I didn't like. Let's sit down. Let's work together. I struggled through some things myself. You struggled. We struggled together. But let's fix this together because I think you're a hell of a coach. I think we're going to be good going into SEC. We just got to fine tune some things. I think it's all in the way he talks to him about it.
Yeah, just take him to the strip club, buy him a drink, man.
It's a sipping point. It's a sipping point. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I definitely don't think you guys need to fire Lebby. I think there needs to be some tweaks. Like Coach just said, BB just need to have it. I really think that's all. You just need to have a talk with maybe get on the same page and and put a plan together, because no matter what you think, coming into the SEC is going to expedite that pressure process.
Peanut butter.
You winning 6, 7, 8 games ain't gonna cut it. I'm talking about fast in the SEC.
Oh no, and I
it's so
agree with you.
competitive.
I don't think you need to be resetting everything either. And if they're gonna go, look, here's the thing. I think that Seth would be fine if they brought him in. This isn't his first time. He knows that offense. It's very similar to same thing with Matt Wells. He can run the same thing. These guys are solid dudes. If it were to come to that, but peanut butter. Hold on. What if Art is the real victim? What the hell about Art Briles makes you think that dude's a victim? Whatever.
Dirty ass Art.
And guys, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of that Baylor shit was bullshit.
I'm not saying that it wasn't. But I'm also not saying that. Look, man, we know what happened with Chris Peterson. That he kind of threw Chris under the bus, man. That was pretty fucked up. Now, Chris couldn't tell him everything, but he let him know without letting him know. And he acted like it wasn't right.
Well, I think
they blackball Art Briles, man. Look.
Yeah, and I think the story is somewhere in between all that bullshit, guys. I don't think it was all.
Listen, I mean, if you listen to Jason Whitlock, he says it's bullshit all the way around. All the way around.
Yeah. But again, what do we always talk about? Who's accountable for the entire program?
Yeah, man, got to fall on the sword.
There you go.
He get all the credit. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You get the credit, you get it all. You get it all, man. It's just like quarterbacks. Right. Win and lose with them.
Yep.
They got a record. They're the only ones that do.
Yeah.
Hey, Bagman, don't come in here saying that shit, man. Don't do that. All right, boys. That's it. Now, hey, Sippin, tell everybody how to find you, man. And
hey, man, I'm easy because I'm only on YouTube, man. Find me at the Sippin Sooner, man. I don't really do Twitter, Facebook, any of that other shit. I'm actually social media illiterate. But you see, it took me like 30 minutes. It took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to get in here.
I was what? I was like, he said, send it my way. I was like, it's there, bro. Where you at?
I was struggling, boy. I was struggling over here. But that's okay.
Don't feel bad, my brother. That's why I Jason handles all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to increase my presence though on Twitter or X, coming up. But yeah, man, I'm easy to find, man. Just find me on YouTube. On there acting a fool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey man, I was glad Hank turned me on to you. He was the first one told me about your channel. I was like, oh shit, man, this dude is awesome. And it was right after I'd been on with Coach I and then and I had to body old Stat Guy.
Hey, I'll never forget when I turned over there and seen that shit.
My homie, but I wore him out that night.
That guy, he pissed me off that night. I ain't gonna lie.
He had everybody pissed from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he did.
Listen, that's that guy whole agenda, whether you know
it. And now we all love him, man. I think most of the Oklahoma guys, all
he's cool, man. He's cool.
He's cool,
but I mean,
I had to body his ass that night.
Even just sitting back watching you guys from afar, man, it's been entertaining watching you and Coach I and Stat Guy, and even you, Shawty, and Coach. I just sit back and watch, man, and sip and just enjoy it, man. So it finally get on here with you guys, man. It's an honor, man. So
well, man, you're welcome back anytime, and don't leave just yet because I do want to exchange information so we can get a hold of each other. I want to get you that stuff for the Devil Dog stuff. So.
All right, sounds good.
Shawty, tell everybody how to find you, my man.
Yeah, man, I'm like Sippin. I don't do much of this YouTube. I only do much of this, Twitter and all these things. But you can find me every Wednesday night at 9:30 at Just My Damn Opinion. They like assholes. Everybody got one. I got one too. You know what I'm saying? You can always catch me on Wednesday nights on YouTube. But what I will say, Sippin, don't be like Debo. Gotta adjust to these new times, man. Get up on the times or you're gonna get left.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
So, but shout out to the HOF Hall of Fame podcast, man, Coach Jason Sippin for having me on tonight, man. It's always an honor to be able to express my opinion.
Tony, are you on yours? Are you on there by yourself on Wednesdays?
I am generally. Sometimes I have, a couple of my partners may hop on just, tap in, but generally I am by myself.
I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I'm gonna have to.
I've popped on there a couple times. It's fun, man. I love his channel. He talks about a little bit of everything, man. He talks about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, barbershop talk, man.
Okay.
I love it.
Brenskie got out of here, it looks like, but make sure you guys go over to the Sharpe Shooters podcast as well if you're not already members of his channel. I know most of you guys were saying that you were going over there. Make sure you get over there and subscribe to his channel as well. He's got a good channel, and they do a lot of barbershop talk in there as well. But and then they talk SEC ball. So Brenskie Sharpe, good guy. It's I believe it's B_Sharpe on Twitter for Brenskie. So get in there, check him out on there as well. Follow him to check all that stuff out. Guys, we appreciate everybody coming in. Coach, appreciate you again as always.
Jason, can I say one last thing before we get out of
here? Absolutely.
Listen, tell Jay, man, I asked about the hammer and he left. Tell Jay it ain't that serious, man. I was just inquiring, man. He had to leave because I asked about the hammer.
He just ran away, didn't he? He ran away, Shawty.
Up soccer kids, but I'll let him know. But that dude has not. Every time somebody brings up the horse hammer, he just don't talk about the shit. He just don't.
Yeah, he running from it. Like, over there. Is that really man there? Is that the real original or something? What's going on?
I don't know what's happening, man. It's starting to make me wonder. It's a situation we're gonna have to dig in a little bit.
Hey, he's got to quit acting like Caleb Williams.
Jay, if you're watching, no, man, and shout out to Jay from Unfair Sports, one of our favorite guys. Hey, man, I'll tell you what, this is the best part about doing this is you guys, and our audience is amazing. I mean, I love all you guys in here. That we appreciate all you guys coming in and supporting us. Make sure you hit that like button and go. But I tell you, being able to chop it up and talk ball with dudes that just love ball. Yeah. I mean, it'll bring dudes together from all over the country, and this is what it is. And it's just, I love it. I think we have the best audience there is out there, man. They love Coach I and them. They love Shawty's show. They love your show, Sippin'. And I mean, they've all brought us together. I appreciate that about them very much. But thank you guys so much.
And just the commonality of talking with people and our people that come on here, but just the commonality of having the knowledge of the game. And we've all had different experiences, and we can share those with each other. We obviously all have different opinions.
We have fun, talk some shit.
Absolutely. And it's golly, guys, how many times most people don't get to have this opportunity. And this is an enjoyable thing. I have more damn fun. I have more damn fun than I know what to do with. Meeting new people as we move along here. I met Shawty first time on here. And I feel like I could call Shawty up and say, "Hey, Shawty, I'm in jail. Can you come get me?"
You can.
but guys, that doesn't come around all the time. So again, just like Jason was saying, thank you guys for being part.
Yeah. Thank you, Neilio. We appreciate you too, man. All of you guys. And again, we could do it without our audience and without all these guys. I love this show. And we're gonna keep on doing this as long as we can. Make sure you get out there and support these other programs just so we can keep on doing it. But hey, we will be back here. Tomorrow night we've got Coach I's show. He's gonna have his Fanatic rankings, week 4 Fanatic Sports Network rankings for college football playoff. Then we'll be back Thursday night for our regular show to go over some of that as well. But so we will see you all on the next one.